You're watching Suck Professor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by
James.
James. Oh, baby! Season 7. Game of Thrones is back. Episode 1. How exciting was this, James?
Wait, this wasn't Twin Peaks?
Nope, not Twin Peaks. This is multiple peaks. Okay, there's multiple kingdoms. Multiple women are gonna be fighting, and Jon Snow is there too. He's just as pretty as all the ladies. Am I right? Or am I right? Here we go, making it weird.
Already.
Episode 1 is called what? Dragonstone?
Dragonstone.
I'm thrilled. They haven't missed their mark. You know what I mean? What am I trying to say? They haven't lost their step.
No, it's still very apparently obvious that this is a super high quality show, and every time it goes away and we're left with other shows, not counting Twin Peaks. I think Twin Peaks is a very high quality show.
Of course.
But it makes you kind of forget just how good it is.
Oh, it's so good.
The absence of it makes it that much better when it comes back.
Because when you watch a show like this, you're watching a gigantic amount of choices on screen. Every single detail is someone's creative and interpretive decision, and they've nailed it the entire run of this whole show. So I'm very confident that we're going to get a great finish. And I'm really sad that this show will eventually end, because these people who make this are I'm almost swearing, James, are motherfucking professionals. They're amazing. I'm thrilled. So I should quit yammering. Plus, a quick side note, I got a sore throat, so this is I'm in severe pain and agony right now. But it's okay. I'm used to it. You ready, James?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. It opens up cold open, no intro.
Yep, no intro yet.
Right on an old man's hand. Who could this be? Weird. Oh, Walder Frey.
Yeah, so there's no mystery here as to what's going on. Eventually, you get to see what happens, but initially we thought this could be a flashback, and if it's not a flashback, then it has to be Arya Stark. And the reason we know that it's Arya Stark is because we saw in the previous season her come up and trick and murder Walder Frey.
Yeah.
We know she's after the Freys, and she's already gotten this guy, so if he's here speaking and it's in present time, he's not really Walder Frey.
Not really Walder Frey. And one of the things that I was reminded of is that she made him eat piece of his own kids. She baked the pie.
Yeah, she baked him into the pie. And I haven't read the books, so I'm a terrible person.
Yes, you are.
But I do recall someone telling me at one point that in the books, a different character was responsible for the killing and baking into pies of the Frey children.
Yeah.
It wasn't Arya. She's taking over multiple roles in the show that did not go down that way in the book.
Yeah, somebody else went to cannibal school to bake pies. Cannibal and pastry school. Pannibals. Okay, sure. Sorry, that was dumb. All right, so you're wondering why I brought you all here. So he stands up to give like a speech, and it seems to be his men. He's only joined at the head by the one girl that she's like an attendant, probably his granddaughter, pretty much.
Probably one of his wives or daughters.
Well, same thing. Yeah, I mean he's banging everybody with the last name Frey.
Yeah, one thing I'd forgotten about the powers of the faceless men's mask is that apparently it changes your voice, it changes your persona, it changes your stature, it changes your weight, it changes your hands. It pretty much turns you into a completely different person. It's not simply a mask that you wear.
Yes, it's not just Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
It's a spell that it's cast over. So one note too. So we took all these closed captions. I just went back, and for some reason HBO there was a delay on the closed captions. So these screenshots don't necessarily these lines don't necessarily line up with the characters that are on screen all the time. It's hard because as I'm taking screenshots, I'm thinking about how we're going to tell the story later. So I'm pressing print screen to try to get the character who's saying the line, or just show something. I mean, obviously I don't make great choices every time because there's a slight delay between the laptop and the TV screen. But this was weird because there'd be times where they'd say a line, no closed caption. Another character would answer that line, no closed caption, and then the closed caption would show up if they're short sentences. But I hope HBO fixes this because this seemed unusual. If it was like this for every show, I would have noticed before.
Yeah, it didn't bother me too much.
Well, I'm fucking angry and furious about it. All right, so he's giving a little like, haha, 2 feasts in a single fortnight. Who gives it to you, my boys?
So essentially saying I've gathered all the Freys who are worth anything together into one room for a feast for a special occasion.
For my plans for my great house.
Yeah, to kind of tell you essentially what my plans for the future are, like you said.
But first, toast. He wants to give them all warm bread.
Yes.
No more of that Dornish horse piss. Now, this is when I knew for sure we're looking at Arya. Yeah. Because it still could have been a flashback by this point.
Yeah, but the fact that he everything he says is referencing something as having taken place after the Red Wedding.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And so he's rewarding them, and they think that they're being rewarded for their loyalty to him here.
Right, but once they've all had their drinky.
Whoa, jeez. James has had 2 bottles of vodka.
Once they've all had their drinky juice,
yeah,
he starts going in and saying things that you would not necessarily expect a person of his stature and standing to say.
Yes.
Things like, "Oh, you killed a pregnant woman," and there's them all drinking.
This is a murder moment, though. This is
yeah.
There's one guy in there who's like, "I'm sober. Drink up anyway,
yeah,
you damn fool."
And he noticeably does not drink.
No, yeah, and I like that because he's like, and then the girl next to him here,
prevents her from drinking.
Yeah, and he goes, "Not wasting good wine on a
Arya's,
damn woman."
She's not a monster.
No, of course
not.
But
she has a couple good lines here after accusing them of murdering the Starks at their wedding. She says something like, "Leave one wolf alive when the sheep are never safe."
Yep.
And then the final thing she says is, tell them the North remembers, tell them winter came for House Frey.
Yes.
She says that once she already takes the mask off, she tells that to the girl next to her.
Yeah, but let's watch them die a little bit here. This will be fun. They all start to go, this is how I feel right now. I'm coughing up blood. No, the sore throat's not that bad. But they all start, the poison's kicking in. They're all getting a little bit of that Joffrey action here. I don't know if it's the same poison.
Well, no, it can't be the same poison because their veins aren't bubbling out and...
I know. I didn't
foaming
mean
in the mouth and all that kind of stuff.
I did imply it was the same. I wasn't trying to imply it was the same poison, but they're dying of going.
Yes,
that's got to be a pretty shitty way to go. All coughing, choking, and so he's like, "Yeah, bitch, it's working." Drip blood coming right out of the mouth, and boom! Now, oh man, they're just going down. Everybody's in trouble here. Here's the big Tom Cruise moment. Look at that gross thumb, man. James, if I ever have a thumb like that, could you just please take it and stab me in my own eye with it?
Sure.
That thing looks like it could carve through a tree. Come on. It's crazy. So, and Arya.
So no surprise whatsoever there.
Yeah. And this girl's thinking, "Oh, no wonder my grandpa smelled like a teenage girl. Wow." And she's a little older, a little meaner, a little wiser, and I mean the actress, she's aged. A lot of time's gone by, but she's still doing great. She's really fun on social media, by the way. James is having a great time. What a good life, huh? As long as she doesn't get all fucked up on meth or something, she's gonna have a great go. I'm talking about the actress, not Arya herself. I just like the girl. She's fun. She's cool. She's smart. When people ask you what happened here, tell them the North remembers. This is what you said. Great line.
Macy Williams is her name, by the way.
This girl's Macy Williams?
No, with Arya
Stark. Oh, Arya. Who pays attention to that stuff? Come on. Knock it off. Grow up. So off she goes, and she's all confident. Man, she is, as I said, the new waif, which I think, I was joking. She's way better than the waif. The waif is a maniac. I like these candles, by the way. I love when candles get these long drips, because you can break them off, and it's a slightly satisfying ASMR type of sound.
Okie dokie.
All right. And off she goes. Boom. All right, little smile.
She has basically torn a whole book out of her page of people she's going to kill.
Yep, this is good. And this is just real satisfying. She got some vengeance, and so her list. So who's left? Well, maybe
Walder Frey wasn't enough.
No. Oh, no, not at all.
She had to get them all, and she did.
So she still got the Hound. Well, the Hound, she thinks the Hound is dead. There's other people on the list, though.
Yeah.
Jamie Lannister.
Cersei Lannister.
Yeah. So
pretty much Cersei's like the main one left on her list.
Totally. Cersei is my threesome, if that makes any sense. Eightsome. Okay, stop. I'll stop. All right, boom. Opening intro. Boom. All right, here we go. Oh, cool. Sorry, my throat's there. Crisp and green. All right. Oh yeah, this is an important shot because the wolf is back atop Winterfell.
Right. It was had the sigil of the flayed man on it for the longest time when Ramsay's armies were taking hold of Winterfell, but no longer.
Right. And this is where they all get pregnant up in that holy grove. That's that's
where the tree is.
Yeah, that's what the tree is. But it's a
werewood tree.
It's a secret, or not secret, but it's a secluded wooded area that only the rulers of the place get to go. So when they're teens, they go in there and they get pregnant. They have a little hanky panky. That's what my full name is, James. It's Hank. Hank is short for hanky panky.
I don't remember that part of the books.
I'm saying
I haven't read the books, but the movie.
Over thousands of years,
TV show.
Over thousands of years of ruling the land, you're banging the woods.
I grew up in the woods. I never saw that happen.
We're monkeys, James. Humans are monkeys. We've been banging in the woods for hundreds of thousands of years. It's what we do. I've never done it either. I've only done it on beds and once on a balcony. It was awesome. It was her idea too, and I was very flattered. All right, there you go. Cool. Opening sequence, and one thing to note though, we didn't travel to the east in this opening sequence. Everything was on the Westeros continent, as I recall.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on in the east anymore because, as you know, Daenerys at the very end of the last season is heading to Westeros.
That's right. I did speculate though, like who is back? Is there any reason to go back east? And I remembered, oh, Jorah Mormont still is on a mission to get cured, so then maybe we'll see him somewhere in the east.
And that does get answered in this episode, but I won't say just yet.
Thank you. See, we're professionals. All right, so that's over now. We're starting it up, man. We got a cool opening long cut scene or long establishing shot. I like long establishing shots. I like when filmmakers sit in the moment a little bit to let you know that it's windy. Oh, and so it kind of gets a little. It looks like clouds are rolling in.
Yeah,
but
you definitely see some dark figures in there. So it looks like people marching at first, and then it kind of coalesces into like a mist.
Yeah,
and you can still see sort of like figures coming in there. This is a pure embodiment of winter is coming.
Yes.
How the White Walkers bring winter with them.
They are.
So even before you can see them, you know it's them.
They ride upon a low fog of terrifying winter cloud, and I mean, man, this can't be avoided. So yeah, we're talking White Walkers. They got their blue eyes. He's got his stick. He's got his white horses, W-I-G-H-T. And oh man, more horsebacks than I think we've seen in a while. Is that the right term, horsebacks? Look at that guy's ass.
Well, I mean, they were all at Hardhome.
They were. Oh yeah, there was a bunch of them up there on the.
Yeah, the actual White Walkers typically ride horses.
The boss men.
Yeah.
Of the fellas here, other than the Night King. And then these are the whites. Oh, look at that arm, skinny, probably cold. That's why you should always wear 2 sleeves when you go out in the wintertime, everybody. And skeletons and whites, and this is very cool. I always love watching these fellas. This makes me just like, this is the best Walking Dead I've ever seen. I like it. Yeah. And then it gets amazing. James, I shit my pants. And I changed my pants, and then we kept watching the show. And
it only makes sense, though.
I know. Why didn't I never... I mean, I'm sure somebody speculated.
Well, we did this whole big, long video like a year ago, and I don't think it ever got
uploaded. I never put it up. I started editing, and my depression kicked in. I didn't get it done.
But we were talking about what the White Walkers' powers could potentially be, and how they could use that power to manifest greater strength in the physical world.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, well, if they can take over people, then that serves a reason they can take over animals, they can take over dragons, they could take over giants, they could take over anything, really.
They totally could.
And we got into this whole big, long discussion about dragons being prevalent in the land, that if they existed, there must be some frozen corpses of dragons up in the north, and if anyone's going to know where they are, it's going to be the White Walkers. And if they can reanimate a dragon, perhaps an ice dragon or a bone dragon or something like that, they could be nearly unstoppable. They could have the forces that they need to confront Daenerys' army.
Yep.
And now we see a prelude to that, them having at least 3 giants. So I think this is going to lead into the big reveal later on this season, or perhaps the finale of the next season, that they also have ice dragons.
Ice dragons. Oh man, that is going to be... I'm going to go through lots of pairs of pants when I see that. What if they had ice mice? Wouldn't that be funny?
Yes.
Cute little blue eyes scurrying along. They should. That'd be smart. They should. They never wrote me back. I sent them letters about it. Fucking assholes. So then this guy walks in here. Eye missing, nose gross. And James, you thought it was maybe
for a brief moment I was thinking, holy crap, his eye's gone, so perhaps this is 1-1. But then I realized, wait a minute, 1-1 died kind of with the people in Winterfell. They would have buried him, they would have burned his body, they wouldn't have thrown him back over the wall so he could be reanimated by the White Walkers. And it makes sense that a dead giant would be missing an eye, because that's really one of the only weak spots a giant has. If someone wants to drop a giant, they're going to shoot him in the eye.
Good point. That explains why my brothers are always poking me in the eyes. Yeah. But not if I get my hand up between my eyes and I go...
And if someone's a corpse, usually birds and stuff like that go for the eyes first.
Yeah, you go for the eyes first.
So just because he's missing an eye does not... And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, 1-1 was missing the other eye anyway.
I think so. I mean, you got a 50-50 shot at that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I think he got shot in that eye, because that was towards the camera.
I'm pretty sure it was his right eye.
That was on the camera side, because I remember they filmed it from the left side towards his... Okay, so, although, it would be funny if that's how they disposed of 1-1, was they decided to haul him up to the top and drop him off the wall. Yeah. That's what I would do. That'd be funny. All right, so then Bran, he's on one of his route trips. He's the new guy who sees all the shit. What's the name of that guy? The guy who lives in the tree stumps and fucking...
The Three-Eyed Raven?
The Three-Eyed Raven. He took over, though, because he had to take... That's why he was incapacitated during that whole Hodor sequence, because he was downloading all this new info.
It was his fault, by the way. He went spirit tripping, whatever you want to call it, when he wasn't supposed to, and got touched by the White Walker Night King, which allowed him passage through the magical and, force fields, whatever you want to call them.
Sure. Ethereal books of history.
Yes, that'll work.
Not at all. I mean, yeah, okay. All right. So then, eyes open. Okay, there he is.
He's just looking left and right.
Yeah. That's not a special effect, by the way. The actor, he just is this good. No, I'm joking. So then, Meera Reed.
Yep.
She's been dragging this guy on a sled. And this is not one of these 2017 sleds invented by humans that's all efficient and cool, like a bobsled. This is some old piece of fucking wood with a guy that kid's probably weighs 150 pounds, even with his atrophied leg muscles. And then this is the new captain of the black guys, the Castle Black guys. The Crows.
The black guys?
Well, what they call them, the black guys. They don't call them the black guys, I know that.
Oh,
but
my God.
Who's the name of who's Jon Snow's old job?
Jon Snow's old job.
Yeah, he took over for Jon Snow, and Jon Snow gave up the commander of the Night's Watch. That's the word I'm looking for. James is looking at me like I'm an insane person, probably because James has good judgment. And he comes out. Who are you? Meera Reed, daughter of Howland Reed. Okay, so this is next. How do I know it's really you? You want to fill in some of this, or?
Basically, Bran Stark kind of says things to him that only someone who is a learned person would know, or someone who's potentially been looking back through history through the eyes of others would potentially be able to say. He gives this very foreboding speech that basically forces you to believe him.
Yes, I was a little okay. Yeah, it's totally. And so he agrees, and they're like, "Okay, fine, all right, you can come on by." And then the two fellas grab the thing, and Meera, she's been dragging this guy around. I bet she's so happy to not have to haul him around.
Yeah, he even says like, "You saw him the Night King at Hardhome."
Yeah,
no one else saw that. There's no way that kid would have known that, if he wasn't who he said he was.
It's not necessarily proof that he's Bran. It's proof that he knows a whole bunch of shit about the place. You know,
it's proof that he's a pretty important character.
He's worth keeping. Yeah, he's worth getting through. Not that that's the only way he would have let him through. He probably would have been like, all right, well, and then Now I was a little bit. This is jumping ahead. Slight spoiler about the episode, but there was no reunion. Aren't they right at Castle Black? How come we didn't see Bran and Jon meeting? Oh, Jon's in Winterfell.
Yeah, Jon, he left a long time ago.
I'm so dumb.
Yeah,
James.
usually you don't stick around people who murdered you.
That's true.
I mean, he did execute Ollie and all the other people who orchestrated against the plot, but his watch was over, so he went on.
That's right, because he had died. Okay, boy, God, why did I say that out loud?
And Game of Thrones is always like that. It's like anytime two characters get together and you think a reunion's going to happen, something always happens to prevent it.
Totally. But he's close, but still, yeah, I should withdraw that from the record. So now Jon and Sansa are having a Winterfell court here. Sir Davos is at the table. Oh, hello, hey, Jon, it's me, Sir Davos. And they're talking about we need everybody to get Dragonstone. We need Dragonstone everywhere. Dragonglass. We need to make weapons. We need to make things. We got to shore up our defenses. He's basically saying we're in big trouble. Everybody's got to work together, including the ladies. We're not just gonna be the fellas fighting this time if we're gonna survive. So yeah. So then there's a little thing here with the one guy gets up. He's like, "You want me to put a spear? I'm not letting a girl fight." And then Lady Glover. Wait, no, she's
Lord Glover.
She's talking to
Lady
Lord Glover. I'm thinking of Danny
Lady
Glover.
Mormont.
Lady Mormont. Lady Danny Glover. She goes, "Motherfucker, I can kick all their butts." I'm not, so that's nice. That's
good. She's the leader of Bear Island, where Jorah Mormont is from.
Yep.
The coolest island there is, of the coolest people, my favorite house. House Mormont.
That's your favorite house, huh?
It is.
Oh, okay. Mine is the Sand Snakes. I just like that scene in the prison where she shows her tits. So that's pretty good. So okay, fine. We'll get the women involved. Good. They're tough. Women can be killed by whites too. They don't have to all just be men.
And we've seen them kill women.
Oh yeah, I know. But it's all hands on deck is the point of the thing. But then he does say, look, are the free folk here? Because we're going to need some of your help there. By the way, he just got back from the hairdresser. Look at that beautiful wave, man. Looking good.
So Tormund kind of catches on to what needs to happen is that the last time they saw the Night King was at Hardhome, and the closest castle to Hardhome was, I think he called it Eastwatch by the Sea.
Eastwatch by the Sea, correct.
Okay. So he needs to send basically Tormund there to watch the castle to be the first line of defense against the passage of the Whitewalkers.
Right, and that's an important place because they're likely to see them first.
And that's pretty much a death sentence. But the wildlings are not, they're not wimps.
No, they're not.
They look for it.
Yeah. So, and we're probably gonna see some scenes where wildlings like recognize who they're killing, like the whites. Like, oh, that's my first girlfriend. Take that, first girlfriend, or boyfriend. Last time, okay. So then he agrees over the Night's Watch now. So they're really been. I mean, they've been buddies for a while, but they really got over that old when they hated each other because they're all terrified. So then we have this issue that they got to deal with about what to do about the Umbers and the Karstarks.
Right, because as you recall, they were long-time, centuries-long loyalists to the Stark House.
Yeah.
But then they betrayed them by handing over Asha and...
Osha.
Is it Osha?
I'm pretty sure it's an O. It starts with an O. Maybe it's Usha. No.
Yeah, OSHA is Occupational Safety and So I don't think it's OSHA, but
I don't think George R. R. Martin wrote the book worried about American
they give
government
her
acronyms.
and Rickon Stark over to Ramsay's guys.
Yes.
And they basically throw down the decapitated head of the dire wolf there too, as if to say we're loyal to Ramsay.
Yes, to prove that it was Rickon at that time. But this guy wants to tear down the castles, and Sansa's like, no, the castles, we'll keep the castles, idiot.
Yes, the castles themselves committed no treason. They need the castles for for defense.
Yeah, you don't ruin the beautiful castle. You just kill all the evil people that are living there, and you put a fresh coat of paint, kick out the kick out somebody, beat up somebody, have fought beside us. So then they have this whole back and forth about whether or not they're going to be loyal, or they're going to. Sansa seems to want to replace the Karstarks and the Umbers, take away all their power, take away their lands, give them to someone else, someone who was loyal to during the fight.
During the fight with Ramsay.
Yes, during the Battle of the Bastards and before that too. But Jon Snow, this is but it's a problem, not a problem necessarily. I guess it's a problem for him, but she's doing this publicly, and as we all know in watching the show and other situations, disagreeing publicly when the leadership seems like they're not united under one decision, that can often create some kind of undermining of the confidence that the underlings have in the leader. So Jon Snow worries about that. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. So do you want to take over?
Well, Jon essentially says that he's not going to force two families out of their ancestral homes because of the sins of the fathers, for the sins of a few reckless sons.
Right.
And he says that they've been loyal to them for centuries, and that he is going to make a final ruling on the matter and allow them to stay as long as they repledge their loyalty. And he says that treachery was committed, but it was committed by the head of the two houses, both of whom were killed fighting for Ramsay. So those who committed treason are no longer standing amongst them. Therefore, a pledge of new loyalty will exonerate the houses from the sins of the past.
Right. Yep. And it's a tough decision. You can see why this would piss off those that were loyal. Why, or maybe he could replace them, but also replacing them on that is also problematic, because now you have a whole new logistical, got to set up a whole new family, and it's going to be other loyalties there that might not fit. It's politics, really. There's positives and negatives to both decisions, is the way I view it. So it's a tough position to be in as a leader.
Yeah, I mean,
not easy.
The problem is it's a tough decision, but it also shows in a sense weakness, because you're not going with the guttural instinct of the people in the room who want blood and they want justice for what's been done against them. But he's thinking with more a tactical mindset. Yeah,
and he's basing it on his experience making peace with Mance Rayder and making peace with the Free Folk. So that's worked out really well. He's buddies with Thormund. They sleep in bunk beds.
Yeah, and I was thinking something during this whole scene that kind of comes to fruition in the next scene, so I want to save it for that.
Okay.
But it's something that I was thinking in my mind is like that made me kind of sort of agree with Sansa a little bit.
Okay, yeah, no, I can agree with both of them. I see why they both make good points, but he falls back on some of his father's wisdom. The man who passes a sentence should swing the sword. That's not I do a bad Ned.
His father said that, Rhaegar Targaryen.
But as the guy who raised him,
he doesn't. I assume he doesn't know that Rhaegar is in.
Wait, yeah. He doesn't know that yet.
Yeah, I don't think he knows that.
And it's still, even after he finds it out, Ned Stark is still his father.
Yeah, of course.
From the guy who wiped the poop and raised him and tucked him in at night. Maybe he didn't wipe the poop because he's a rich guy. You usually pay some poor schmuck to do that. But yeah. So all right. So he doesn't want to punish him. Not to his family's Thursday. So he does. He kind of puts Sansa in her place because it's his decision. She's not too happy about it. See, she goes, but she's not stupid at all. She's had a lot of experience around these situations.
No, she explains herself in the next scene.
Yeah,
in the next scene.
So then they bring up and this is kind of like, oh look, they're kids, so they're easier to kind of get into your fold.
And he kind of had this in his back pocket the whole time.
Yeah.
What is he going to say? I agree with Sansa. Bring up the children and execute them.
Well, also that, plus they're not like they're 40-year-olds who have had their loyalties are pretty much set. These are children, and
this is a new generation standing up to forge new loyalty for the centuries to come.
Exactly, centuries to come. Sounds like a great porno, James. So they're all right, take the knee and put your knee down, and then she's like, yeah, see, all right, okay. She's smart too. And they even have a nice smile about it, and they're all going to have a good time. Now and always, they make their oath, and then she that's her starting to smile. I just took a bad screenshot there. This guy here, that's the dude that wanted to tear everything down. He's a little disappointed. So, but hey, go home. All right, sorry. All right, let's keep going. So Sansa, and then Mr. Littlefinger, a.k.a. Littlefinger, watches. He knows how to manipulate people. He's a master. And so he sees a weakness between Sansa and Stark that he can exploit. So I predict, this is the easiest prediction, it's not even a real prediction, that he's going to try to sow divisions between her and him.
He's going to try and drive a wedge between the two for his own personal political gain.
That's pretty clear, yeah. So then, see, James, this is what I was talking about. This is where they all get pregnant. Because you're sneaking around with your, hey, come on, let me show you the woods over here. My mom and dad are asleep. You're not going to go outside the walls. You're going to go to the cool tree, man. You go to the grove of trees. Oh, it's anti-gravity down over there, dude. Big time. That's why I want to have a tree someday. All right. Oh, let's take a look at this. So this is all the encamped troops, right? These must be wildling camps. This is probably the Vale guards because they're a little bit more organized. They tend to be a little bit better than, not better, but more organized, I should say. Very good.
And we know Littlefinger is only around because they only won the battle in the last season because of the Knights of the Vale.
Yes.
And like it or not, Littlefinger is essential to the to the holding of the city.
Yes, and aside from that, it's they're probably making a calculation that him on their side is better than him against them. Yes. Because if the Vale turns, they're screwed. They're in big trouble. So, all right. So now they have a little kind of a private thing. It's like, no, don't question. You can question me, but just not in public. That's what he's pissed off about. Don't undermine me. So they have a lot of back and forth. This Joffrey thing was kind of funny because
But this is the point that she was making that I was thinking. She says, you're good at this, you're good at ruling, you know you are. But she says you have to be smarter than Father, you have to be smarter than Robb. They both made stupid mistakes and lost their heads for it.
Yeah.
Trying to be a good man often results in a Stark dying. That has always happened. Starks have always been the good person. They've always been the ones to forgive and forget, to be the ones to show mercy, and they've always paid with their lives for it. And she has seen that happen time and time again, and she doesn't want to see it happen to the next successor in the line of ruling Starks.
Right. So, and how should I be smarter? He said, use that one website that's like brain games. It's supposed to make you smarter. What's that called? Lunesta or something?
Lunesta is a drug to help you sleep.
Oh yeah, but it's something L.
Yeah.
So, but you're totally correct. So Will Jon, who has been established as a very good dude, he does try to do the right thing. His sense of honor and decency that he is learned from his father, Ned, not his real father, and Robb, his real brother, not his real brother, cousin or something. But will that get him killed? What do you think, James?
I hope not, because he's already come back from the dead once. So
yeah, I don't want to see him die.
It'd be a little anticlimactic to have him die now.
Yeah. Plus, he's got a great mustache. Look at that thing. That thing could store all kinds of soup.
So right before the question can be answered, though, Raven comes to deliver a message from the Maester.
Yep,
the Maester brings the message from the Raven.
Yeah, the Raven brought him a cigarette. He just needed a little smoke. And no, there's the Maester.
It's
off
from
he goes.
King's Landing.
So the Queen of the Andals, the first man, King of the was the rebel bastard for Jon. Jon Snow is the rightful queen, or suffer the fate of all traitors. Look at that nice big S. That's pretty good. So there's the sigil.
I think they just wrote that on a parchment like 20 times and then just like ripped it off in little strips.
Oh, you mean to get the font to, or is this handwritten? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it looks like it's a small part of a larger paper.
Oh,
they wrote
yeah,
individually on the ripped off slip, so they wrote a big paper and then they just ripped off.
I bet you it's someone's job to pre-tear them before they. I think they write it after they're torn.
It'd be harder to write on it when it's already torn, because it'd be like bunching up and moving. You'd have to have someone hold it down.
But if you've written on it and you tear it, you risk fucking it up by, sometimes the tear goes off a
You fold it a lot.
That could happen, sure. No, that's definitely a possibility. Wow, we're going to do 2 more hours on how did they tear that piece of paper. Oh, I just spit all over my monitor. It sucks. Ugh, gross. There's sriracha all over my monitor now.
Okay, so Cersei is basically calling everyone, all the leaders of the houses and the different territories, to come to King's Landing to bend a knee or else suffer the fate of treachery.
She's giving them a chance to not have a war by becoming subservient to her whims.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's like, no, I don't think so. I've seen this Night King. But he says they're not northern fighters. Winter's here, and they're not going to come all the way up here and fight us. So he's not too worried.
He says they're a southern army. They've never been known to extend as far north as Winterfell.
Yeah, yeah. And especially now that it's gotten worse, so the winter's even harder now.
And Sansa is basically saying, you don't know her like I do, and she almost, says things that are optimistic in terms of her feelings for Cersei.
And she's managed to kill everybody who's wronged her.
Yeah, she says that, and Jon kind of questions her a little bit. He says, do you admire her? You say this as though you admire her.
Yep.
And she says, I've learned a great deal from her.
That's right. That's right. And she has. She's very, she's very observant. She's been right in the center of all this intrigue throughout the last 4 or 5 seasons. What if she said, 3 seasons ago, what if they slipped that in there and they just fucked it up? Yeah. So he's like, all right, so these two are good. They're good rulers. All right, so now we've got a floor. Somebody looks like they have an expensive dress.
And we've seen this from the trailer of Season 7.
There's somebody painting a big map on a thing. Oh, cool. Look at these vines, James. Those are pretty neat. And there she is. I like it.
So apparently Tywin Lannister has charged his children from a very young age with memorizing all the names of the cities and towns and lakes and rivers and everything that encompasses what Westeros is.
Yeah, yeah. There's actually a scene early, I think season 1, where Bran is with the maester. He's scratching using a Tully, which is River Run, pin to scratch into the table. He's upset that his parents aren't around. He's kind of grumpy. But as they're studying with the maester who died, I don't remember his name, he gets killed, he's bald. So all the children of the kings all learn everything. They all teach them, their children.
Yeah, in this case specifically, Tywin was imprinting this into his children.
Oh, I'm aware that we're talking about Tywin. I was saying, though, that practice extends to all the families, because they all have to know the geography.
But for
I wasn't trying to suggest that Bran was being taught by Tywin.
Tywin is a conqueror.
Yeah.
And he teaches his children this so that they can reach out and conquer, or so Cersei believes that was his intention and that's her duty now.
For sure.
That to know everything is to own everything, is to conquer everything.
Yes, definitely. And so there they are, and Hunky McGoldenfinger walks in, and there he is. Hey, check it out. He gives the guy a nod, saying, hey, get out of here, pal. I love the blunt symbolism of this show. Everything about this show is just like hits you over the head symbolism, and just that her sort of like a chess piece, solitary, her back to the camera, this huge map she's ruling. This is her right in the center, but she's surrounded. I mean, it's pretty blunt. It's easy for an idiot like me to understand. That's why I like it. So, there it is, even more. So cool. I like how he's working on his stuff.
Yeah, it's weird that she wants to rename Westeros into Incesteros.
Incesteros. That's good. It's funny. So she's right in the middle here. So she's on river land. She's a little north. This is the King's Landing. So, but he's got this little painting there. That's what he's working off of. So,
and
cool.
Jaime is clearly Jesus.
Jaime is Jesus.
Look at him just standing out in the ocean.
Yep, that's right. Well, Jesus famously did have a great uppercut.
What?
You ever get punched by a guy with a golden hand? Fucking hurts. All right?
Okay.
I've never been punched, but I just know it does. I don't know what you're talking about.
So this is one of the first times, if not the first time, that we see an interaction between Jaime Lannister and Cersei.
Right, because he was gone.
Right, after the events of the explosion of the Grand Sept of Baelor and the wildfire and her rising to power.
Yeah.
So I was theorizing at the time, and not really a theory because it was pretty obvious, that Jaime was looking at his sister and seeing the same qualities in his sister that he saw in the Mad King. The Mad King threatening to bring down King's Landing and wildfire. So much so did he disagree with that he slew the Mad King himself.
Yeah.
Basically gave himself the name the Kingslayer to prevent him from doing the very things that Cersei just committed in the last season.
Yeah.
So she's saying, are you afraid of me?
Well, he should have answered that one.
Well, he does. He says, should I be?
Oh, right. Is that what this no, not angry part is, or is that a different part? I don't know if I got the screenshot of that.
Well, this is where she's telling him, is like, you do know that we need to do something now because our little brother, Tyrion, the one that you love so much, the one that you allowed to escape, the one who murdered our father and our firstborn child, is sailing across the narrow sea to come and take us. He is serving as Daenerys' hand of the queen, essentially. What are you going to do about it? Where will they land?
Right. So this is when they transition to the tactical part of the discussion, and he is standing right where they're going to land.
Yeah, he literally says they're going to land at Dragonstone.
Right, because he's got a reasoning for it. Nice boots. Look at that guy.
They have deep water ports for the ships.
The whispers, the sigh. He's like taking pause because you never get to really look at this stuff during the show.
Right. And Dragonstone was the ancestral home of the Targaryens. It wasn't their first home. It was, I think, bequeathed to them at some point in time. I forget who had it before there, but it's an ancient fortress that I think the dragons roosted on the high walls and underneath in the keeps and so forth.
Yep.
But that seems to be where Daenerys is going.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she could be heading to south or something, but this seems to be the most likely place.
And if you watch the trailer, you know she's going there.
Yeah, we all know that. So that's where she was born. So there's lots of good reasons. So Ilaria...
Oh, yeah. She spent a very short period of time there. She was Daenerys Stormborn, born during a storm, born at Dragonstone, and then had to be exiled across the Narrow Sea to where we first see her.
That's why my full name actually is Hank Light Windborn. There was a slight breeze when I was born, but someone else already had the last name Slight Breeze Born, so I had to go with Light Windborn. And then she kind of lists this sort of just exposition for the audience to sort of get a wide shot of the conflict. She sort of travels around the thing, talking about the different players that are involved in this whole conflict.
And again, also a trailer moment. Enemies to the north, enemies to the south, to the east, to the west.
And Elena, the old cunt.
Who is,
What? She's not?
No, she's Elena is still alive. I believe.
That's Marjorie's
right. It's Marjorie and her father and her brother and Kevin Lannister and the High Sparrow. They're all dead.
Yeah.
But Elena was not in the High Sept of Baelor when that went
Marjorie
down.
saved her life. Remember, Marjorie told her to get out
because she said that essentially Tommen was going to arrest her and the High Sparrow was going to arrest her.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks to the Faith Militant, those sons of bitches. Oh, I hate them so much. So enemies to the north. So they're this is cool. So that was murder, and that murdering horse. Sansa stands behind him. So yeah, man, this is what do we do now, buddy? The Tyrells have the grain. The Tyrells have the stock. So they're trying to just sort of how do we get resources to feed?
Well, essentially, Jamie's telling her is like you need to think this through more. She said you say that you're the queen of the seven, seven kingdoms, but essentially it's three at best.
Yeah.
We don't have allies. We are seen as the weaker of the two compared to Daenerys and her army. People are going to side with the side that looks as though it's going to win, and right now we do not appear to be the side that's going to win. So we need to gather allies if we have a hope of standing against Daenerys and her army. Yeah.
And will any of our allies potentially switch over? That's a very bad thing to happen. So no one wants to fight, and right now we look like the losing side. Oh man, that's not good news. At least he's being honest though. You got to face reality. And although, by the way, I haven't been able to get a boner in 18 weeks. I need a gold one.
But it's almost as though it's like the Mad King again. It's like him trying to speak reason in the face of madness.
Right. Well, do you think she's going to accept his wisdom?
I think that eventually he's going to have to kill her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Think it's going to be it? He'll be the Queen Slayer?
Something very telling happens here. He says, we haven't even spoken about Tommen. And she starts walking away.
Right.
And eventually it leads to her saying a line that's really surprising.
Hold on, let's just get caught up to that part. Our children are dead. The whole dynasty, they talk, we never talked about Tommen. Okay, so then she kind of doesn't really want to talk about it. So go ahead. It's him saying that her baby boy killed himself.
He betrayed me. He betrayed both of us.
Right. Man, I got BO. I just spelled my armpit. I'm sorry. It's really bad. I've been playing 7 Days to Die all weekend.
It's a great punctuation to an emotional, important scene.
Well, sure. But what do you think? What did he betrayed with the Faith Militant? Tommen through his kingdom or his his power.
Her Achilles heel has always been her children, her love of her children, her fear of losing them, the fear of the prophecy that was given to her when she was a child, that she would one day have children with, golden crowns, and they would one by one fall before her.
Right.
And that now that it's happened, now that she has no one left to care for her, no one left to love for her, she has turned her love into what appears to be resentment and hate.
Mm-hmm.
And she no longer cares about them more. She's just power hungry, and because it even says, what is this dynasty you speak of? A dynasty that lasts for centuries? Whose dynasty? Our children are dead. And she said, well, then a dynasty for us, for you and me, for the only Lannisters left, the only Lannisters that matter anymore.
Why don't they just have another baby? I know she's a little older, maybe, okay, all right.
She calls them the last ones that count.
Yeah, right there.
And he reiterates, if we have any hope, we need allies.
Yeah.
And she ends with, you think I'd listened to Father for 40 years and learned nothing?
Right.
Which means she does have a plan. She does have allies that have, as of yet, been unspoken for.
Right, who have maybe kind of new players in the Game of Thrones world, or at least in the politics of the mainland of Westeros here. So she's talking about Frey there. We don't need that. We need allies. Boom. Okay, here's the thing. Ship of Krakens.
Euron Greyjoy is coming.
Now, look, these are cool. I just want to note that these boats have all the same bow. And then as the camera pans over, we get a really cool ship. This is like a big old monster leadership. Leadership. But it's got a ramming thing. This is for knocking over other boats. This is sort of some sort of like launching grapple.
Do all of them have that red sigil in the middle of the
Well, they all have.
Kraken?
Oh, this sigil here?
Yeah, I'm wondering if that red thing denotes a leader.
No, yeah, they all have that.
They all have that? Oh, yeah, they do. Okay, I see it now.
It's probably like something to do with Euron, though, or maybe. But I've never looked at the Kraken that closely, other than last time I had sushi. You ever have squid? It's delicious.
No.
Okay, James, if we ever get rich, can I take you out for sushi?
No, I don't eat seafood.
What?
I hate seafood.
You grew up on the sea.
Exactly, which is why I hate it.
Oh, man, I could eat a scallop all day long. They're so delicious. All you can eat lobster? All you can eat snow crab legs? Come on.
Gosh,
Come
like
on, heaven.
insects of the sea.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
That's why
it's
they're
like
so
digging
good.
into a giant cockroach. I would never do that.
I
It's
would.
like that scene from Nightmare on Elm Street where the guy's a weightlifter and he gets pulled into his own nightmare, and Freddy Krueger's there and he's pinch breaking. He's bench pressing the weights, and all of a sudden Freddy Krueger looks at him and turns him into a cockroach, and his arms turn into cockroach arms, and they snap in half under the weight of the dumbbell, and he gets squashed like a giant bug in the weight.
That's not where I was expecting you to go.
Ah!
All right, well...
Every time I see a lobster, I think of that scene.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's what... Yeah. Okay, all right. I like eating ocean cockroaches, okay? How's that sound?
Anyway, so Euron Greyjoy.
Wait. What is this? Is this a grapple? Does this shoot out? This thing is cool, because obviously it's tactical. I bet they shoot it, or there's got to be a range to it, and then it grabs onto the boat, and then that's how they secure their prey, kind of.
It could be spring loaded, pulled back in the interior of the hull.
Something like that, because you can't just get a bunch of guys out there. All right, lift it. And
yeah,
hook it
it's
over.
clearly
It's like
not
a winch.
decorative.
Maybe it's like a winch. It's kind of the word.
It's a warship, and it must have a purpose.
And look at these castle walls. They really went to a lot of trouble to duplicate it.
They only did that to keep the splash of the water off them.
Yeah,
It's really cold.
These guys can't handle a little salt in their mouth. But this is a big bad boat. Big old.
And it's not even the best of the boats, because as we know, Theon Greyjoy and his sister took the best of the fleet.
Yes, right. And as we recall, Euron instructed everybody, we're going to build a whole new fleet. Hurry up.
And we're going to go murder my nephews.
We're going to murder them. That word will come up. I have some things to say about it. Most of them will be complimentary. Towards James. Oh, look, there it is. It stands out, doesn't it? That's funny. This is a big-ass boat. That's the Greyjoys. Not all of them. I invited Euron over here.
Yeah, so when she says, I do have allies, I've been listening to my father for 40 years, and you think I not listened? Of course she listened. She went for allies.
Yes, right. She found some allies.
But Jaime is not impressed by them.
Right. He doesn't think they're all that great. The Ironborn, they're bitter, angry, I almost said lonely, little people. What did we come here for then? A queen.
Yeah,
man.
He said something else that I kind of liked.
All right, go ahead.
He said essentially that all they know how to do is to take what they can't grow or make themselves.
Oh yeah, they're just raiders. Well, they can't grow. Yeah, exactly. Well, their iron islands are made of iron. I don't know, not literally, but they can't grow shit on them. They're not really that. They can fish.
Yeah.
This guy, he also wants to know, this guy here. Well, how come he's got the cowardly lion on his on his pauldron? Is that the pauldron or the greave?
No, pauldron is your
Greave
shoulder.
is the glove, right?
Yeah. Greave is the foot piece, is your shin.
What?
Yes.
What's the glove called?
A gauntlet?
Gauntlet. I knew it was a G word. See? I'm so smart.
You know what this part's called? The part immediately above your hand?
The forearm?
That's where you put your bracers.
Bracers. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. I knew that. I was just testing you.
What about the part where right here on your upper leg?
Your football player pants.
Those are called tassets.
Tassets. That was not going to get... I know the belt. The belt is the piece of leather that you use to kill yourself after you can't take it.
Yes.
All right. So Euron, the moment I was chosen, Lord of the... So now Euron is visiting. There's a word for this when you supplement. Is it I don't know. But
so basically, Conor McGregor is now talking to...
Is that his name? Conor McGregor?
No, that's the UFC MMA fighter.
Oh, because my joke is that he looks like Ewan McGregor's slightly less attractive brother.
Okay.
You threw me off with the double McGregor. Does he look like Ewan McGregor? Looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? But Conor McGregor's more... That's in the news these days.
Yes.
All right. So the Dragon Queen. So they have... He's very confident. He's used to giving orders and people listening to him. This is Balon's brother.
Yeah, so he's essentially giving her the rundown, saying, this is what happened, my ships were stolen by my nephews, essentially. They're coming to give their ships to Daenerys, who's coming to take the throne from you, who wants to kill you, and that kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
And my job is that I want to murder them. It'll make me feel a lot better.
Murdering them. Have we heard the word murder in the show?
Only from him.
The show is all about murder. It's
right,
killing in the name of some cause.
It's spoken more eloquently than that in most cases.
I don't know why the word murder doesn't fit into this world. I mean, obviously they're, like I said, it's all murder.
Murder implies an act that should never be done. It's an act that is forbidden, that is looked down upon. But in this world, murder is something that happens every single day.
Yeah.
Murder doesn't have the same weight to it as it does in our time.
Yeah, in our world, there's something senseless about it. We don't want anybody to get murdered. That's why it's a crime. Of course, this whole violent medieval kingdom, fucking these people are savages. Murder is sort of part of the deal, I guess. But it's too on the nose, I guess. Yeah. Maybe because there's no subtext to it. It's just a horrible thing. Whereas, like, even the word "kill" is generic enough to make. If he's like, "Let's go kill them," it's like, okay, that's just the word you would use. But he uses the word murder again. He says it twice in this scene, and it's his favorite word. We can murder them together. Yes. It's like let's go commit grand larceny.
Yes. There's a great exchange between Jaime and Euron here, though, where they're talking about the time that Jaime Lannister and the Lannister army invaded the Iron Islands to squash a rebellion or something like that? I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And how Euron Greyjoy was there, and he saw Jaime Lannister come in and start cutting down Greyjoys using a skill that he thought was only legendary, that no man could possess, but apparently he said it was a beautiful thing to watch. It was like he was dancing.
Right there, yeah, the whole dancing thing. I just want to back up a little bit. I was cutting down, I'm showing this to show what James was just talking about. That's Jaime saying he enjoyed killing Greyjoys. But if you back up just a little, there was this little cool moment where he starts to step up the steps and the mountain moves in, and he immediately is like, okay, all right, I'll back off. And the mountain's like, all right, I'll go back to my spot here, but don't you fuck with her. So I like to think of him as an extension of Cersei's will. Yeah. That's what I like about him. He's like, he is her right fist, except he's a 400-pound complete undead devil who can murder anybody he wants to and can't be wounded. So that's great. So that was good. He put him back in his place. Stay back there, pal. So yeah, now we can jump through this part. I wouldn't be the greatest captain of the 14 seas.
Well, Jaime questions him and says, do you not have any problem with the fact that the people I was cutting down were Greyjoys, your people? Mm-hmm. And he says, I didn't care. It was getting too crowded there anyway. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, right. So with the Iron
so is he essentially offering his hand in marriage to Cersei for the unification of the Greyjoys and the Iron Islands and the King's Landing?
That's his opening ploy. But look at the detail on this thing. That's really cool. Look at that neck. Huh?
And he does a really bad burn. He says, here I am with 1,000 ships and 2 good hands.
Right there. Look at Jaime going,
because that tells them 2 things. That says, 1, I'm better than Jaime Lannister here. And 2, it says, I know you guys are in love. You've been banging each other. That, it's no secret. The whole world is aware of it.
Right.
So it's accusatory and demeaning.
Yes, right. He's making fun of the crippled Jaime Lannister, and Jaime doesn't like it. Because Jaime is still a powerful fella, and he could probably kick his... Well, I don't know. I don't know. Jaime's tough, but I wish if Jaime grabbed his collar and went, oh boy, and he started tugging on it, that move. So yeah, there he is. Ha ha! Take that, Jaime, you jerk.
What if he could shoot his hand off on a chain and just punch him in the chest and then retract it?
Yeah, like Bionic Commando. Yeah. Look at that. Boom, boom. He's jumping rope.
Two good hands. Look at my hands.
So, I like his chin. That's how he keeps his chin clean so that the chicken juice can spill off into the sea.
Yeah. So to wrap up the scene, apparently Cersei says, I decline your offer. You're not trustworthy. But he counters saying that he wants to bring... and murdered them.
Yep. 3 times. All right,
he wants to bring her back a priceless gift, one that will hopefully sway her mind and make her agree to enter into matrimony with him.
Yeah, or at least, you think the gift is to get matrimony, or the gift is to get just the agreement?
Well, it's an agreement, basically. He wants power, he wants to rule the world. She wants power, she wants to rule the world.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. He knows that he can't get what he wants unless he sides with her.
Yeah.
But right now, she holds a lot more cards than he does.
But I'm just wondering if that means marriage. Like, she's basically didn't accept his first offer, so he's got to go up his offer by getting some other gift. What do you think that is?
That's what I was getting to. You said when we were watching it, you were saying, oh, perhaps it's Tyrion. I think that's a really good guess.
I mean, if it's got to be something he knows she wants.
Yeah.
And it's probably something we know she wants, meaning it'd be weird if it was remember when you said you wanted the diamond sapphire ring of the, some random object that means nothing to anybody? So it's got to be an important thing. And
The only two things in the world that she hates and would love to see brought down is Daenerys and Tyrion.
Right. Yeah, and she's threatened by... I mean, I suppose he could go around and kill Jon Snow. I mean, he's not going to go to the north, I don't think. Yeah, it's got to be one of those two. Maybe it's something else, though. Who knows? All right, well, let us know in the comments.
Could be a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, could be that.
They're really hard to find.
Yeah. I'm going to go get you Tickle Me Elmo.
And then he brings it back. Goes, these have the gray Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons.
See? Greyjoy?
Yep.
See what I did there?
I saw what you did.
And he's a con? Grey Joy-Cons?
Yes. And pros and cons.
Yeah.
Get it? And frozen ice cream? Pros and cons. Okay. I'm hungry. I want to go get ice cream for my sore throat. Nice thing about having a sore throat, it's an excuse to eat like a fat slob. Suck it, Mom. Telling me I'm too fat. Fucking bitch.
Here's the best montage in all of television history.
Oh, I loved it. So my print screen button started going on fire. So we knew real quick we were at the Citadel, which is... I love these lights. This is so cool. It's very...
Did you see in the opening intro?
Yep. Oh, yeah. So is that...
That's the thing, you're spinning around and it's focusing light and doing all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Is it literally that, or is this modeled after that, or that's modeled after
Well,
this?
it's CGI, so it's not literally that.
Nothing's literally, I know, but I'm saying, because in the opening sequence, because I watched that, I've been watching this forever, I always thought that was the sun, and the world is curved around the sun, almost like around the inside of a Dyson sphere in a way, kind of thing, because you're kind of flying around. That's the way that camera moves around. I'm not saying you're off base with this at all, because it's clearly similar to that, sort of gyroscopic. And this thing probably moves around because as the sun moves, these have to redirect the light. You know, boy, I need a shower. This is not good. Okay, all right. So there, what a cool place though. Looks like something Harry Potter would be, trying to look up Sears catalogs at. Doesn't that look cool?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All these books and stuff, and old men running around. Okay, so chains and books, and Sam is now a librarian. And a whole bunch of other stuff. He's got all these jobs. He's the low end of the thing. This is probably what the process for any new person here does, right? Like they have to kind of pay their dues.
Yeah.
And the way they presented it, as James already referred, was like montagey. So he's going in and he's climbing under and we got a poopy box here. And he's got the chamber pots and the bed pans. That's the same thing, right? And
yeah, I just love the juxtaposition of him emptying the chamber pots to the gruel that he is serving and being fed on a daily basis hitting the bowl.
Yeah.
And they look to be the same exact substance, because if you really think about it, they are the same substance.
It's what's left over.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, food is nothing more than just pre-shed. But
it has the same appearance and consistency. I hope not the same smell, but it just kind of goes along to say what Sam is encountering, what his life is like at the Citadel.
And it's a lot of water. Oh, I guess it's mixed with urine too, because they piss in it. I was thinking boy, they all have diarrhea.
It's all mixed with urine Greyjoy.
Urine Greyjoy.
Do you think maybe he cleans with joy?
The soap.
Yes.
It turns gray real quick. Yeah. They call that camping water with camping soap, gray water. Check this out. This is the old bathrooms. I think this is probably pretty somewhat like how it has been throughout our worlds in some times of our history, where you just park it there, and some guy. How annoying would it be if you say you're pooping here, and some guy sits right there? You know, like when urinals, you're like, why are you next to me? There's an open one. We need a gap, dude. But this is the way it was. Although I do like that they have this nice opening for your dick. That's pretty good.
No, that was if you were throwing up. That was for your neck.
Oh, you put your neck in there. Yeah. And they fold these up and then they throw sponges at their faces. But you're not intrigued by the way that what I'm saying is we're lucky we all get to poop in toilets. We get to sit on ceramic chairs that have a drinkable water that we crap into, and then it goes away down a slip and slide of pipes into the ocean where fish get to eat it. Fish love corn. All right, so Sam's had a bad day here. Not bad day, lots of bad days.
Yes, so I'm going to go grab a Coke real quick, but I want you to keep pushing on through this montage, and I'll be back in about 2 seconds, because I know there's a lot of poop jokes in here.
Oh, we've already done all the poop jokes.
We've already done the poop jokes?
No, well, not all of them. There's plenty more. So this is what James is referring to. Okay, he's gone now. I can tell you guys his social security number. It's 123. No, so all right. So yeah, this montage was excellent. I really enjoyed the editing here. I'm an editor in real life. If people pay me, sometimes they give me money and I edit shit for them. So I know what I'm doing. But I was impressed. Like there's the gruel. Oh, look at the fork. That is a fucked up fork. I pushed real hard, James. We made it real far. Don't tell him that I didn't really do it. So, oh shit, James is back. There he is. There's the toilet hole. That's gross and terrible. Look, they just pulled the door out. You could tell because the angle. You see how this is askew right here? This wall here. That's because they didn't. Yeah, that's just.
Or it could just be that the lid of the toilet is up.
It is up, but I'm saying in this shot. If you actually put a camera behind one of these holes, this wall would be...
You would need a camera port.
Would be parallel with this, and it's not because it's angled. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about filmmaking here. But Or maybe he dismantled it so he could clean it. And
so the entire time during this montage, he keeps looking past these gates.
These gates and these chains. By the way, what do you think these chains are for? Is there like one each for each book? Maybe that holds them... I mean, what? Is it they make noise and that's how you... Like, I don't understand the chain thing. It's really interesting.
Those are the bookmarks.
Bookmarks, yeah.
That would really
but
mess
I'm
up your
curious.
binding.
I have no idea what that is. So
yeah, I'm not sure either. I know every maester wears a chain, and the chain is symbolic, and it makes it means something at the Citadel.
Yeah.
But those are clearly smaller chains than what the maesters wear.
It's got something to do with the the inventory of the book. I'm pretty sure, or maybe they. Yeah, I don't know. I like it that I don't know. It's fine that I don't know. I like that there's some sort of custom being honored with that or whatever. So he's coughing, but it's all happening quickly. So we're missing a whole bunch of cuts. He's got the water, he's got the gruel. It's all going in and out the hole. The poop is just flowing.
But all the while, as the days are going by, as he himself is pooping, as he's cleaning things up, as he's doing the mundane tasks of the day.
I don't think he's pooping there.
No, it kind of looks like it. But as he's doing the mundane tasks of the day, he's realizing in the back of his mind the whole reason he's there is to research Dragonglass, to research Whitewalkers, to gain knowledge that is going to help defend the world against the onslaught of the Whitewalkers.
Yep.
And doing this stuff is not getting him anywhere closer to that.
Yep. This is me when I wake up. Gags. Ugh, gross. Yeah, that's totally right. And he's just like looking at this pile of fucking shit buckets. He's got a... Although they do look like, what's that soup that the French people make? French onion dip? French onion soup.
Sure.
If you ever have a French onion soup bowl, it often has a handle attached to it. It's got that melted cheese on the sides. It's funny. You scrape the cheese off and you put it on your eyeballs. You tell your mom you hurt yourself. All right, so he wants to get behind that cage, though. Now he kind of is like, oh, that's where the real knowledge is. What's up there? I need to know. I need to get in. But then he pretends. This guy almost catches him, but he's just acting like he's adjusting a book. So there he goes. Gate closes.
Yeah, and the point of this is that only maesters are allowed back there.
Right. No, he's not yet that. But I love that montage. Just one last comment. It was so great. It got really quick. It got really fast. Yeah. I just thought it was excellent.
And sadly, he doesn't have time to become a maester because the world is facing annihilation.
Right. He's on a mission.
Yeah.
From God.
That's Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. You said it better than I. Okay, so now that we're at a dissection and maybe an autopsy, there's an arm. Look, it's an arm. I thought it was just a hand when I was watching it, but it's a whole arm. Maybe there's an entire body in that fish tank or something.
There's an extra just holding his arm down there over the camera. He's like, can I get out now?
Can I take it out now, so I'm starting to get prune fingers. Yeah, this guy's just doing a surgery. Oh, fucking drinker's liver, huh? Look at that gross other thing. Weigh it, Sam. Go weigh it over there.
So this is the Archmaester.
Right.
And he's having Sam weigh things.
I'm guessing he's dissecting. This guy is like a maester here too. Like one, obviously died of being an old guy. That's what killed him.
They called him Maester Wayland or Waylon in the very beginning.
There was a name. Yeah, right Wayland. There, Wayland. Yeah. Yep. So. All right, so is it 147 some type of thing? I like the shot too.
Yeah,
I love all the blood that's on the bottom.
And they're taking such special care to write so straight and so properly, and yet they're getting blood all over it.
I know, it's so good.
Like, come on.
So he's writing. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh man, it really hurt. I got some tea here. I'm sipping on it, but
anyway, he breaks the weird autopsy crap. It's saying, "Have you considered my proposition?"
Right.
And the proposition, he goes, I did not remember your proposition, but he says that in light of what I have seen, in the experiences I've had in the North, the fact that I have seen the Whitewalkers, I've seen creatures and things that people have denied the existence of for eons, but for hundreds of years. Because of that, will you grant me access to the restricted sections of the library so I can use what I've seen, use my knowledge to help the world?
Right. Nobody believes me. I need to prove this, and there's information here that we need because this shit is real. No one will help me, man. I've seen it, but there's not fabrication. Too many similarities. I like that line though. Too many similarities from unconnected sources. That's a really logical way of looking at it.
And this was really good because he essentially said, "Sam, I do believe you. I'm one of the few people, if not the only people, who believe you."
He's rational and fair, just like me.
And I was thinking the whole time, it's like, this is great. This is finally an ally. This man is going to open the gates so that Sam can complete his mission, that we can learn something new that we may not have known before that could turn the tide of the war between Westeros and the White Walkers.
Right.
And you can keep going though.
Oh, okay.
And he keeps going on and on about the stuff about, you know, who they are, what the purpose of the, you know, the Citadel is, what the purpose of the Maesters are.
This line was amazing.
Yeah, what function they serve. Wield this world. Yeah, go
How
for it.
powerful is that, though? Like, that is what history is. And history is doomed to repeat itself. The other way of saying that is we don't teach it. We don't learn. We don't remember. And they are, like, without it, we're just a bunch of blank slates that are having a little better than dogs. And it's totally true. And we're seeing that throughout our planet nowadays. We constantly make the same stupid mistakes over and over again with hatred and disliking and being afraid of people who are different. And it leads to conflict over and over and over again. It never gets settled and never will. And the only solution is to educate people. That's it. Okay, that's my soapbox there.
But despite the fact that he was building up with this great speech saying how he believed Samwise... Is his name Samwise Gamgee? Yes.
Samwell Tarly.
Samwise. I'm thinking Frodo, Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
I need help sometimes.
That's okay.
But despite the fact that he said he believed him, he starts going on to this whole historical diatribe saying things like, oh, wow, well, people thought the world was going to end when the Targaryen dragons flew across to Blackwater.
Right.
People thought that all was lost when the Targaryen regime fell. People thought, you know, the world would never be the same again after blah, 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 blah. And he goes, and you know what happened? Everything moved on. The world moved on. We all survived. The next day came. Every winter that has ever come, has ended.
Yeah, exactly. So
the wall has always held.
This is the summation of the Citadel's operating philosophy, which is non-interventionism. We don't take sides. That's why they provided maesters for the Targaryens. They provided maester for the Baratheons. Whoever's in charge gets a maester because they don't get involved, basically. And that's frustrating to Sam. That's really frustrating because he's here on a specific mission because he knows some dangerous stuff is coming. And I guess there's some value to that, I guess.
Yeah, so now he knows he has no ally in the Archmaester for the purposes that he wants to be at the Citadel for.
Yeah, and this sucks. Be a good lad, clean this up. This is why I hate having a boss. Just some dude gets to tell you to clean up a fucking body. That's terrible. Look at that gross thing. This actually reminds me of Tywin Lannister when he's carving up the deer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is he supposed to do with this? Sew it back up and then... okay, that's horrible. Don't you think it's a bad job?
I would not like
I'd rather
to do that.
Scrub shit than do that. Seriously. I don't know. It's a tough choice. Tough call. So anyway, he decides to sneak in. He's not real worried about the sound. He just sort of takes the keys.
Yeah, so the permission route did not work. So now he's going to ask for forgiveness when he gets caught. If he gets caught.
He's going to take papers into his own hands.
So he has taken the keys of a maester. He has gone back into the restricted area, and he's taken some tomes that he is not supposed to be reading.
He starts jamming them down into his skivvies. So we cut to our favorite big-dicked fellow... this guy, Podrick.
Yes, Podrick and Brienne.
Is it Podrick Payne? Is his name?
No, it's Samwise Gamgee.
No, it's who's Payne? Isn't it not Podrick Payne? Isn't his last name?
I don't recall his last name.
Yeah, well,
I know him as Podrick.
I've forgotten 90% of the books, James. Okay,
and I haven't forgotten any of the books because I haven't read them.
Well, that's worse than me. So look back here, and it's Tormund. He's got his eyes. We're gonna see him in a little bit. So. Oh, look at her. There she is. She and I have the same hair. I wonder if I always wanted to bang a woman with golden hair. But she's basically just like beating up on Podrick because he's not as good as her. She's teaching him how to be a fighter. And they, they're buds, though. They kind of like work. It keeps them busy, gives them something to do. It's nice. And, let's see, Podrick, get over here. Like, oh, yeah. He comes over and he says, you lucky, because he gets to be touched by her, right?
Or gets to be smacked to the ground by her. She takes him down pretty hard.
Yeah, right into this pile of snow, which flew up. I don't think real snow would fly up that high. It looked a little powdery, but it's stunt snow.
I wish he would say like something like, winter is coming, and then smashes him into the snow.
Winter is coming, and so am I. Hello. Where would you like it? You always ask. You always sex tip everybody.
I
ask.
didn't know you were going there.
You gotta, you don't just say what do you want me to do with this? Because you got to solve a problem. If you don't make the right move, you got to be like, okay, we'll keep this contained.
Okay, so all right. So then we cut from
you're a lucky man.
Yes.
At least he called him a man too.
Yeah, we cut from this Sansa and Littlefinger, or Peter Baelish.
Peter Baelish. They're up there watching stuff.
So here's the thing: the last time we saw Peter Baelish, he was kind of looking at the interaction between Sansa and Jon Snow.
Right.
As we predicted, he was trying to sow the seeds of discontent, drive a wedge between the two of them, and as always, manipulate for his own benefit.
Yeah, yeah. She's by the way, just real quick on this too. I do like their romance, and she's rebuffing his advances right here. She's like, oh god, she's just so annoyed. I think deep down she's probably a little bit flattered though. I bet a little bit.
I don't think so. She's always been kind of drawn to more dainty men.
Like Remy?
Yes.
Or not Remy. Renly? What the fucking king? The guy that, the dude who got killed by the shadow guy?
Yeah.
Renly.
Yes.
Renly. There it is. No, I hear you. I get it. But, you know, his approaches are like leaving it up to her. He's not coming at her too aggressive, I don't think. Maybe he's letting her know, though. He's not keeping it secret.
Yeah. So Littlefinger is trying to kind of do what Littlefinger does. Like stick his dagger in the cracks and widen him a little bit.
Stick his little finger in the cracks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make a good, you know, that makes sense. But he's saying that basically, what is it that you want? Do you want safety? You want power? You want happiness? You're already here. You have everything you want. She counters saying, you know, I'm already in Winterfell. Winterfell is my home. I have people around me that love me. I have my family, or what remains of my family. I have protection. I have safety. And he says, but do you not have happiness? And she doesn't really, you know, answer that, but she kind of cuts him off, saying, like, no need to seize the last word, Lord Baelish. We'll pretend that it was something clever, or I'll assume it was something clever.
Yeah.
And she, before this, references that Brienne will come and cut down anyone who, you know, gives her any grief.
Yes.
Brienne shows up as sort of like the hired hand, is like...
She's her
Brienne,
mountain.
I was about to say, Brienne is essentially her mountain.
I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, you got...
I should have let you finish your thought, though. I tried.
No.
Okay.
But then she dismisses Baelish and talks to Brienne.
Yeah. I just wanted to note this. What the fuck's up with his hair? Come on. How does this happen? Is this a bad dye job that you just didn't have enough? Did you not buy enough from CVS? You ran out? It's so weird looking. How does that happen? All right, let's keep going. I'm glad I'm bald. I'm never going to look like that fucking shit. Okay. We need his men. So, yeah, she's saying, she's basically like, why are you keeping him around? Well, we need him. He's got a veil here.
He saved Winterfell with the Knights of the Veil.
Yeah. Brienne, he wants something, though. And she goes, I know exactly what he wants.
So the tone that she says it in there seems to imply that what she believes he wants is her.
Yes. He wants,
which I don't doubt that he does want her, but we know from very, very early seasons that he wants all that there is to have. He wants power. He wants, essentially, the Iron Throne.
Right.
But I don't think that's exactly what she's referencing here.
No, I don't think so. He wants a kiss from her vagina.
Yeah. There's no limits to what he wants.
Right. Yeah, and he's fancied her, though, too.
Yes.
In a physical
and fancied her mother.
And her mother, yeah. So in a way, it's almost like, if I can't have your mom, I can have you. By the way, you're younger than your mom.
Yeah.
So, all right. And plus, your mom has no head. So,
yeah, she does.
Well, it's barely hanging on. She had her neck sliced real bad.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, no blood. Okay, fine. All right, fine. Nitpicky. All right, I like the idea that her head is folded back and is dangling against her back.
It's not that severe.
Just like a thick slab of skin is holding it on there.
Maybe if the fish ate through it enough, that maybe it would be like that now, but at the time it wasn't that.
She's like a broken Pez dispenser, just cracked backwards. Okay. Good thought. All right, so birds... Oh, by the way, this bird switched to... No, maybe that was later on. There's somewhere the word changed to dragons. Oh yeah, seagulls became dragons. Down from Mount Hill. So now she's driving through the woods
and
here.
she hears a man singing.
Yes, and he's got a beautiful voice. I thought this man had a very professional sounding voice. In fact, from this shot here, I spotted this guy, and I didn't know his name because I'm not a music dude. And I was like, I think that's that one guy. And it turned out, yes. Do you want to give his name now?
I only knew his name when I saw him because I saw, what was that thing that Late Show guy does? The carpool karaoke thing?
Oh, the British dude?
Yeah, James Corden.
James Gordon. Yeah, Corden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the guy's name is like Ed Sheeran or
Ed
something.
Sheeran? Yeah.
Sheeran? Yes. I recognized him from that. I'm not familiar with his music. I couldn't tell you anything he sang, but he seems like a very nice guy. There was also an article in the paper about him and... a very famous guy, who was it, who he slept on the couch for... Jamie Foxx took him in for like 6 weeks, and he slept on this couch and helped him get a start.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So that's the extent of what I know of this guy.
And he's a legit talent. He's a great singer and a musician.
And seems to be a humble guy, too, so I like him.
I think he's got a good vibe. By the way, this is the haircut you get when you're starting to go bald, but you're famous. You got to try to hide it. This is like early phase of balding. Eventually, it's going to start getting to the point where this just looks silly, and he's going to start going shorter and shorter. Or he goes long and has a long bald ponytail, and that's never a good look. So I don't want to steal your food. So this is actually, these guys were like really friendly to her. In a world where women are often easily victimized by any random monster, especially a group of soldiers. But they, she was cautious, but she agreed to like be joined with them, and they didn't seem threatening. They, they're not threatened by her.
No, the curious thing about it is that they are wearing what appears to be Lannister armor. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm quite sure that's Lannister.
She is riding back to King's Landing to take the biggest name off her list. Yeah. The Lannisters, the remaining figurehead of the Lannisters, Cersei.
Cersei, yeah.
In her mind, the Lannisters are the worst of the worst. They are evil epitomized. Mm-hmm. And yet she sees these guys, and they offer her a place to sit by the fire. They offer her food. They offer her drink. And they're being very kind to her.
Yeah, they are, and they have like conversations, like about regular stuff, kind of stuff.
They're talking trash about King's Landing, calling it a cesspool, and and treating her as an equal. And she's not used to this. She's on the warpath to destroy all that is Lannister, and she's seeing goodness in them now.
Yes,
and I'm wondering if this is going to do something to her
with these funny eyes. He's got
and she's had a really rocky path up until this point. She's been doing nothing but committing horrific murders up until the point that she sits down with these guys.
Right. And she's lucky to have them there. And they gave her the chicken. They're real kind with the guest. She's like, "You're the guest. You get the first bite of the squirrel." They hand her a thing. She takes a bite.
They say something to her, something like, "Be kind to strangers, and strangers will be kind to you."
Yeah, right. But now we've been going to wall. Can't wait to get back home. He like misses his wife or some shit. I don't know. He said, he's got a daughter. This guy says his wife is pregnant. He's like, "I'd like a girl." He actually wants to have a girl. That's kind of cool.
And we know they're in the Riverlands right now because they say, "What brings you to the Riverlands?" And I think she asked the same question of them, and they basically say, "We're coming here to establish, stability in light of what happened at the Freys."
And she's very mature for her age, so she takes the wine and has a sip because she's had a pretty freaking. She's killed more people than I ever will, and going to kill the queen is the answer right there.
Well, no, that's when they ask her why she's going to King's Landing.
Yes,
and she tells the truth, but they obviously assume it's a joke.
Right.
And they all share a laugh.
Yeah! Good. She even laughs with them. I like that shot. Oh, they had a couple of squirrels here. I mean, one squirrel per person is what we could eat easily. But they got to split this between all these fellas? Oh, those rabbits maybe, or some other kind of weird woodland
and you got to give some to the horse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's those meat-eating horses.
Yes.
I'm not a vegetarian, but people that say like, "Oh yeah, you can get really strong and still never eat meat." Look at horses; they eat grass, and they're fucking giant muscle.
Well, they're genetically bred for that. I mean,
I know what I'm saying, but that's a good proof that meat does not equate to muscle as far as what you eat and then what you can grow from the food you intake. You need protein. Look at how muscular horses are; they don't eat meat at all.
I don't think the physiology of a horse works exactly the same way as it does in a human. I don't think you can make a direct comparison between a human and a horse.
There are bodybuilders and MMA fighters that are vegan, that don't eat any meat at all.
Yeah, and they never want to fight.
That's not true.
People's fists go right through them, like Jello.
I'm not on team don't eat meat. I actually think we should for environmental reasons, because meat production is terrible. Factory farms are awful. But I'm a hypocrite. I still eat meat, and I love it, and I always will. I'll eat a rib all day long. But I'm just saying, it's kind of cool that horses are really strong and they eat grass. How cool is that? If I ate grass, I'd be pooping all day, and then James would have to come help me get back in my car.
Yay.
All right, James, I'm at the park. I wanted to live like a horse, and now the cops arrested me.
I finished all the grass.
They're not even gonna pay me, and I gotta. Yeah, no, I agree. Horses and humans are different. Okay, that's a controversial. Okay, so now Thoros of Myr and Beric Dondarrion. This is the band of singing boys or some shit. The Brotherhood Without Banners.
I just wanted you to know that when I typed down Beric Dondarrion here, so I remember his name, my iPad corrected it to Bernice Dondarrion. Okay. So now Beric is Bernice to me.
All right, there's Bernice. Is his middle name Sanders?
Yeah.
Bernice Sanders Dondarrion are going into. So you've got real powerful magic to figure that out. To the Lord of Light Whisperers. So they're, I don't know. You want some rum? It's too sweet. I hate rum. Get out of here. You think he's a drunk? You think he'd just drink it no matter what, right?
He's somewhat of a changed man since the last time we knew him.
Since the guy from Deadwood turned him around.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. The preacher guy or whatever. So it seems like a good place. So
now you recognize this place immediately.
Immediately. It looked familiar to me because I remember there was a scene in, I don't know what season that was, 5 or 6, very close to when Arya, when Brienne finally catches up with them and kills, or beats up the Hound in that terrible, brutal fight that they had. But yeah, there's a shot that's very. I think they probably framed it almost the same.
Yeah, I look at that
driving away,
and all I think is like, oh, that's where James Delaney was hiding his gunpowder.
That's a taboo reference. Check out our taboo. It's in the description. These people don't want us here, so he's like, we don't need to go in here.
So the Hound he's aware of what the place is. He knows.
He recognizes it too, and his hesitation to go in is noted by the guy. He says, "You frightened for a big man, hard man. You scare easily."
Before they go in, though, you can go ahead with this one. I know you like this.
Oh yeah, I don't know what made him say this exactly. He's answering this insult, right? And then he says, "Bald cocksuckers like you think you're fooling anyone with that top knot?" I love that he called it a top knot. You bald cunt. That's so funny. So top knot, we all are familiar with the man bun. Everybody likes to make fun of it. It's a little douchey. Frankly, I don't give a shit. You got to put your hair somewhere. But Top knot. I hope that replaces the word. I hope that takes over. Top knot. That sounds fun. I like it. Also sounds like a kind of pretzel.
Yeah, so we actually went back on YouTube and we looked at all these different scenes where the Hound was traveling with Arya, where he was staying in the Riverlands with a family. And we found one where he was in the river below, and there was one of these little nice cobblestone bridges going overhead, and a wagon came by, and it was a man and his daughter.
A bald guy?
An old farmer, and probably his granddaughter, I would assume, because he looked too old to be the father, but maybe...
They had hard lives. They aged pretty quick.
Yeah. So essentially, they invited them into their home. They came, and here they are right now.
There they are.
This is the home that they're invited into. And after being very hospitable to them, after giving them a place to eat, to sleep, to live, before they passed on, the Hound left, knocked the man to the ground, wounded him on the head, not enough to kill him or anything like that, just to kind of get him out of the way, and stole silver from him. And said to Arya, after Arya protested the way he was treating him, he said, "Dead men don't need silver. Come winter, they'll be dead anyway."
Yeah.
And sadly enough, come winter, now it's winter, they are dead.
Yeah. So are we... Okay, you kind of just changed my thought on that a little. Because I thought that this guy's death was directly caused by the Hound.
No.
Not in the moment, not like he killed him, but that he wounded him so much that he had to kill himself and his daughter, because then his daughter would have been alone.
No, he said of this man, he says, this man is weak, he will not survive, he'll be dead come winter anyway.
Right. Okay, so you clarified that really well. Yeah, so
and now that he's a changed man, he dreaded that this would be what happened, because he knew this was what was going to happen. Even though at the time he called him a good man, he says, a good man, but he'll be dead come winter.
Right. We need his silver. So,
yes.
Because he's a criminal on the run with one of the most wanted girls in the area.
And like I said before, now that he is a changed man who has a much bigger heart than he had before, this is something that grieves him to see.
Yes. So he sees them; they're dead, and he's probably feeling a little bad about taking the silver or something. But yeah, it's he knows them, so it's a little bit tough on him. So how do you think it ended for them? With death. That's how it ended, motherfucker. Both of them are covered in blood with a knife at their feet. He ended it for both of them. So the guy had to stab his daughter and then kill himself. That's pretty fucked up.
That may have been what happened. Better than starving to death, I assume.
I suppose so. Yeah. Now that all your crops are dead or something, I would just run away into the river, go to the water, and eat some ocean cockroaches like James. Just become a fisherman. No, it doesn't matter now. And I always thought you were dull as dirt. I just read the captions to try to remember what we watched. Oh yeah, so he questions their faith because they're these flame worshippers. He says about them, like, of course. Why did I get so lucky? I'd end up with a bunch of flame worshippers.
Because you recall the trial between Beric Dondarrion and the Hound, where they had to fight, and the Hound, brings him down, but then he's resurrected.
Right.
By the Lord of Light, and he goes, "I've met many men who are far better than you."
Good men, better men.
Way better men than you, and they hang from the rafters and they rot in the fields and all this. What is it so special about you? What does the Lord of Light see in you that allows him to bring you back time and time again?
Yeah.
And the guy's honest. He goes, you know what? I ask myself that same question every day.
There's no divine justice, you dumb seawood. See, I wanted to say it, but I didn't. Yes, and that's an interesting thought. Like, why you? What's so special about you?
He has no idea what the Lord of Light has in mind. He says, all I know is that the Lord of Light needs one thing, and that's for me to be alive.
Right. Yeah. But, in order to be brought back, though, you got to have one of these priests or priestesses of the red. The red, the late, they're usually the hot babes, or they're these, this guy here. He's
Top knot.
But he's the same status as
Melisandre,
yeah. Because there's one where they encounter each other and they have a little back and forth too. So maybe they knew each other back in college or something like that. So he gets him to look into the fire. And remember, he was wounded. I know people watching this probably know, but maybe you might not remember. His whole scar was because his brother, Sandor Clegane, held his face into fire as a child because he took a toy. That's why the Hound is wounded. You look confused.
Sandor? I thought the Hound was Sandor Clegane.
Well, I don't know, Gregor Clegane.
Oh, okay. Did I screw it up?
I don't know. I probably screwed it up. I don't
know.
It's Sandor or Gregor. I don't know. Sandor's the...
I thought Gregor Clegane was
You're probably
the mountain.
Right. I would bet on you. I don't know why. Come on, listen to me. Obviously I don't barely have a functioning mind. But he does relent and he says, okay, fine. He comes over.
Yes, Sandor Clegane. That is the mountain. I mean, that is the Hound.
Okay, so I got it wrong. Yeah. So it's Gregor. Yeah.
Yes, Gregor is the mountain.
Right. Evil, but he's traumatized by fire, so being anywhere near fire is really difficult for him. But he does come by. He knows the fireplace is a fairly safe fire spot to approach.
But he does have a funny line. He goes, it's a fancy I find myself with a bunch of freaking fire worshippers.
Yeah, that was back here a little bit. Yeah, that was a good line. I like that a lot. That'd be like me if I got stuck up with a bunch of people who... I don't have any fears, James.
Just it'd be like me finding myself waking up on a fishing boat where everyone's eating lobsters.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's like me with no egg rolls. I love egg rolls. Okay, so he goes for it. He actually kind of embraces it, and he goes, a wall of ice. It really works. Yep. Maybe he's got some sort of special powers. You think that's the case, or you think this other dude is manipulating him with some sort of special powers?
I mean, I think it's legitimate.
Is it? I don't know. Okay. No, I think it's legitimate that he's seeing it, but it happens so quickly, and he's such a skeptic that it's almost surprising. And maybe in a way, this will change the way he interacts with fire. He discovers a new sense of purpose and power because he has the ability to read fireplaces.
I don't see the Brotherhood without banners as having motivations. I see them more like a jellyfish just floating in the ocean, letting fate take them where it will.
Okay, I like that. Well said. Good. But he is in service of whatever this fire...
the Lord of Light.
The Lord of Light wants, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's where the wall meets the sea. So he's referring to the East Watch by the Bay. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was going to go to. Like, Hardhome was the last time we saw the Night's King. So we know that Tormund is going to be taking the castle, East Watch by the Bay.
Yeah, or by the sea.
By the sea, but whatever. Yeah, whatever. There's a castle there, which, again, is the same place being referenced. And then he says something horrific.
There's a mountain.
Yes.
That's what's...
Looks like an arrowhead.
Yeah. And then... do you believe we're here for a reason? Did I get it? Did I miss it?
You may have missed it, but he basically says the army of the dead are pouring through the castle. There are thousands of them.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Which means that that's a prophecy, basically, that Tormund and the wildlings are not going to... I mean, we knew they weren't going to be able to hold them, but this kind of tells us potentially of Tormund's death.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I don't see Tormund as one who would evacuate, who would flee. He's going to go down fighting.
Yeah. And then he goes, also... Subway is going to get rid of its $5 footlong. They will now be $6.25. All right.
The extra dollars to pay for Jared's time in jail.
Yeah, for all the lawsuits from Jared.
Yeah.
God, what an idiot. Just go bang 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
All right. Or 18, I know. But you know what I'm saying? Come on. Fucking idiot. He belongs to be in jail. I hope he rots in hell. All right, burying the dead. So what is this? Oh yeah, so now nighttime they're all sleeping, and he's burying the dad and the daughter, and he's out there. This is a moment of humanity for the Hound. He actually is kind of giving these people some respect that they didn't get in their death. Mm-hmm. But is this ground frozen? It's hard to dig through frozen.
Yeah, but the Brotherhood guy helps him. What's his name?
This is Tauros of Mirrors. Yes. We saw it earlier.
I know, it started with a T. This is the hardest part about first episodes of a season when it's been gone for a long time, is that there's a lot of cobwebs.
Yeah. Thoros, I think.
Thoros, yes.
Thoros, I believe. But yes, the father. So they try to say something like some sort of classic heaven, father, dirt, rose.
The Hound can't remember the words to it.
I'd be like, I don't know, put them. I don't know. Everybody, take out your cell phone and tweet at the same time, and he'll get to heaven. He'll get a bunch of faves.
Yeah. So he simplifies it by saying, "I'm sorry, you're dead. Mm-hmm. You deserved better, both of you." Yeah. And now we cut to Isengard.
Yeah, I know, dude. I didn't recognize this. I was like, "Wait, did Winterfell have a big tower? What is this?" And it does. I totally thought it was Isengard, and I didn't think it was Isengard, but it occurred to me it's similar. That's funny that you say that. But no, it turns out this is the Citadel. And we have seen this before, I think, but we don't see this a lot. So this is now Sam reading. He is really doing his homework. He's
reading the books that he stole from the library.
That's right.
That he apparently took home with him.
Yep. Little Sam coos.
And this is the part where I wanted to leave.
Why? Because you don't like...
I freaking hate Gilly.
Why do you hate her so much?
She's so annoying.
I love her. I think she's got a gentleness about her that's very very fashionable and winning.
Let's push through the Gilly part.
All right, Legends of the something there. Yeah, Legends of the Long Night. And so they're reading stuff. Hey, you want to read this stuff, James? It's pretty cool. I got arrowhead. Oh, this is like different ways to fashion dragon glass. Look, dragon glass. It looks like F's dragon glass. Couldn't bear. Cool.
So the Targaryens used it to decorate their weapons without even really knowing what it was and what effect it would have on the White Walkers.
That's right. And so then this is the page he keeps turning to. By the way, you can pause that and look at it if you want. And he sees this, right? He really tunes in on that thing, and it looks like that's Dragonglass. That's where it all is. That's the mine. That's the source.
And it would make sense, though, because if Dragonstone were the place where the dragons roosted, and if Dragonglass is produced by the smelting of materials through dragonfire, the fact that dragons lived there and would roost there, would breathe fire there, could serve the reason why you would have a foundry of it there.
Yeah, that makes a quarry of it. Maybe is
a foundry is more like a smelting
processing ore or something. Yeah, but this is where it comes from. It's got to come from somewhere, and it's the only thing that can kill those things. So there it is.
Those things, White Walkers.
White Walkers. Them things. WIGHT walkers.
No, WHITE.
I know. I like that. I think it's cool that they're both words. When they invaded Westeros. Okay, so we got this is important. Jon needs to know. So he immediately starts writing on his little scrolls. See a little piece of paper out? Yeah, well, maybe he does tear them. I don't know. It's hard to say. But look, I like Gilly. She's cool. Well, I don't understand your hate for her. It's not like she's done anything. She's a little naive. She's a hasty.
I did not like her because every single time we got an episode, it seems like so much screen time was taken up by her that we were missing out on all the potential good stuff. I'm okay with her in this episode because she's very brief.
Okay, but that's the judgment against the directors and the filmmakers, not against her herself.
Well, she directed all these episodes.
She's those two dudes that are always doing. That one guy has a earring at the top of his ear. That's just, come on, grow up. Get a top knot, you piece of shit. So he writes a thing, and then, by the way, we're out. We might have to finish tomorrow.
You stopped taking screenshots?
I did not. I just didn't. They're not there. Unless they're... Because that's how, remember when I finished and I said, oh, 530, that's great.
Yeah.
So we have to finish tomorrow. Fuck. All right, just a little edit there, guys. We actually ran out of pictures somehow. I don't know, James. We were watching at the TV, and I was pressing... And I wouldn't have stopped doing it, but for some reason we didn't have all of our photos. So it's a day later now, 24 hours. Yeah. We've got a little more time to process, so let's keep pushing forward. You ready?
Much more ready now than I was yesterday, because yesterday I was like the first batch of pancakes. My head was all messed up, malformed, and stupid.
Oh, come on, James.
On the first episode of every season, it takes me a little bit of time to reacclimate to the characters, the settings, and everything. Even though I've been watching follow-up episodes before this started, I just did not have the right mindset in place. So I was a rambling buffoon who used the wrong words and the wrong pronunciations at many times, but I am trying to be better today.
All right, guys, let us know in the comments. Was James a rambling buffoon?
Absolutely.
Or was he a coherent buffoon?
I was a buffoon no matter what.
I thought your insights were always on point, or on point as always, and mine were flubbed and fucked up because I can barely string two words together.
I was as high quality as the bedpan montage.
That was the great quality, though. That was great. Well, you're being really hard on yourself, James, and you don't deserve it. Okay, pal, you did great. All right, back off. A little start with forgiveness. Okay?
No, I believe that I should be saying to the audience what Sandor Clegane said to the dead people. You deserve better. Both of you.
Well, by that logic, you should be burying the audience in a hole at night.
Oh, so we have probably 2 viewers.
That's right. So. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so we took a day off. All right, we didn't take a day off. It's been 24 hours since the last moment, and now we're going to do this thing. So we're going to get to the end here.
We are still in the Citadel with Sam.
Yes, Sam is now performing his chamber pot food duties now. I didn't... This actually brings back full circle something we said earlier, though, about a character who I speculated, who are we going to see? And obviously the reveal is, as we get closer with his cart. By the way, I noticed there was some trick. No, never mind. I didn't get screenshots of it. But there was an extra door open that they skipped over by showing this close-up of his feet. I saw some little editing trickery. And it's not trickery. It's just how you tell stories. But are these prison cells, or are these...
At first I thought they were prison cells, but we know this is a citadel. This is a place where all the maesters, who are essentially physicians of the time, the learned men, the keepers of the memories.
Right.
So they have all the history and all the knowledge of how to cure grayscale, potentially, and how to cure other ailments.
If you're going to go somewhere for some...
Yes. And we know that grayscale is curable because Stannis' daughter was cured of grayscale. Yeah. Well, not really cured, but...
They arrested it.
Yes, the disease was stopped. It was arrested before it could progress throughout her entire body.
Right.
So we know that there's the potential for the same thing to be done, and I don't recall quite exactly how they stopped hers, but I know that he said they took her to all the greatest doctors in Westeros and the world around.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that was not the Citadel.
She gets rich people health care.
Right. Yeah. So I was expecting, like you were in the beginning, that we were going to be traveling and staying in the East, watching as Mormont, or Jorah Mormont, goes around trying to make good on his oath to Daenerys that he will try to cure his disease for her benefit and his benefit.
Yeah, some kooky witch doctor.
Yeah, and I was really... I was expecting him to go back to the ruins or something like that where he first contracted grayscale, trying to find some sort of answer, some sort of hidden thing. Something cool. Where he was doing an active role to cure himself, not simply running to the biggest and most powerful hospital in the land and sitting behind a quarantine door.
So you didn't expect him to do the most logical thing?
No, and after I noticed he was in there, I was like, yeah, that's what I would do too.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense, but for some reason I had this weird Indiana Jones thing in my head where he was running through a forest with a machete or a sword, hacking down limbs, and reading runes on a wall, trying to mix ingredients and cure himself. But
yes. No. So right. That's so funny. So, but I just seems okay. I'll explain what I'm saying later. But the way they reveal it is his hand comes shooting out of the hole in this door. You know, they're all locked in there. There's obviously no light coming from in there. It's really progressed. This is his arm. He's in big trouble here.
And he puts his bedpan out and it's filled with gray frosted flakes.
Yeah, gray frosted flakes.
It's grayscale poo.
Yeah, I know. Frosted flakes are already kind of bland. I used to eat that stuff though. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, his arm is looking messed up.
Yeah, he's in trouble there. He gets the thing and kind of clangs it.
And it looks quite painful too.
Yeah, right. Now he knows he's infectious. This is reckless if he's being helped here. Sometimes people in a state of medical emergency have, you know, poor judgment, and maybe it's affecting his brain or something. But I don't know if that's the case. I'm not suggesting I think that's the case. But it's like, dude, what are you doing? You could get someone else sick. But is this sort of a recovery wing, like an isolation unit? Is that what's going on?
I would assume it's a quarantine unit, yes.
Yeah.
Because we hear people coughing and things like that.
Gloves.
So it makes sense that this is a medical ward.
Yeah.
That this is, you know, where people go when they have no other place to turn.
It's certainly far from the kind of like comfortable hospital you should get. You should have a little window, a plant, maybe a teddy bear holding a fake heart, some bullshit like that.
These guys are his only hope, so if this is what he has to endure for the possibility of a hope for survival and a hope to one day be reunited with Daenerys, which is the only thing in the world that really matters to him, he's going to do it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go move over to that Valyrian castle thing and become boyfriends with all those rock monsters. All right, so clang clang, it goes to the bottom. Oh no, what's that? And so Jorah goes, oh, and I want to point this out. So I redid these screenshots here. The closed captioning was on time now, so really? I wonder if it's a separate stream.
I did hear that HBO was having some problems with their stream last night, which makes perfect sense because it's the premiere of the season of Game of Thrones, so everyone and their grandmother's streaming it. So.
That's what I was thinking yesterday too. Like, there's still I would have noticed that if the closed captions off. But anyway, it's back, so I'm happy to see that. Has she come yet? Oh no! Oh, I mean, who? So. Khaleesi. Look at his hands. He's got. That's because he's covered in garmonbosia.
No, yes, and I agree with you. He should be a lot more conscious about waving his infected limbs around. But by the same token, is like you kind of have to see the arm to know that it's him. I mean, I'd recognize his voice. You recognize his voice. Most fans would recognize the voice. But the people directing this have to say, "I need a shocking moment. I need something that's indisputable, that's unquestionable, that is Jorah Mormont in the cell."
Right. Well, they could have solved that with a candle. All right. Put it in his cell.
Well, they don't want to show his face yet. That's a big reveal. I
imagine so. Yeah, definitely. And this is where he got touched, so it's going to spread from here on up. So maybe his other arm is pretty good, and the last thing to go will be his right pinky toe.
He's just going to become Daenerys' fourth dragon.
Yeah.
She'll attach like cardboard wings to him.
Yeah, he's going to become Daenerys' fourth statue. He's just going to turn into a rock. All right. So Sam is just a little like, oh god, this guy's, and so then the camera does pull back or the rack focus or whatever, and we see a little bit of his beard.
Yeah, so it's not, he doesn't have scales growing off his nose and everything as of yet from the silhouette.
But he wants to know where's his queen, and of course that sends us off to Queen.
Yes.
Look at her. She's got her caterpillar eyebrows.
I was about to say Queen of the Caterpillars, but you beat me.
So, it sounds disparaging, and it probably is a little bit. But
you know why she would be really a bad person to go to the library and see Sam?
Because her eyebrows would get stuck in the elevator?
No, she's the breaker of chains.
Oh,
it'd take her all day.
That's right. That's where all the chains are. Yeah. But she's at the head of her fleet, right? Seagulls. Are you ready? Dragons. Do the dragon sounds. Use your turn. I'll do seagulls. Oh, come on. You do dragons.
It's a baby dragon.
All right, fine. Well, it's a pretty good baby dragon. Yeah. She's off she goes, and boom, Dragonstone.
This is exactly where Jaime said that she was going to land, and this is where she landed, which, as we said in the prior part of the episode, this is the ancestral home of the Targaryens, not the native home of the Targaryens, but at some point they took it over. It was an ancient fortress. They inhabited it. Stannis Baratheon then moved in after the Targaryens were pushed out during Robert's Rebellion, and then Stannis was defeated, and he was pushed out. Now it's kind of empty.
Now it's just sitting there, kind of a relic. Needs a new owner.
You know,
this is a fixer-upper right now.
Yeah, I had this weird memory from the trailer that Melisandre was somewhere to be found, that she returned here when she was exiled by Jon Snow from Winterfell. Because, I mean, logically, if I were her, I'd come back here because it's like, hey, I got a whole house to myself. I can watch TV with my pants off and stuff.
Yeah, that is fun.
And she, you know, she does like to walk around without her necklace on, which is kind of nasty.
Well, right now she's without a... is she running? Is she still in Winterfell, or they kicked her out?
She was exiled from Winterfell after Davos told Jon the story of what she did to Stannis' daughter.
So she's looking for another mission.
She is a nomad.
Yeah, and is there any more rational or sort of maybe not rational, but is there any better fit for the Lord of Light and a woman who can kind of divine things through the power of fire than a bunch of dragons? Dragons are fire made flesh, as they say at the kindergartens. So But yeah, and James, I want to give you credit for coining the term incestuous. That was well done. That sounds like something I would say, and I want to give you credit for that. I'm complimenting you by then immediately making it about me. Notice how much of an egomaniac I am. But we could also call this incest.
And it does kind of look like, you know, a bird perch?
Yeah.
Doesn't the top of the tassel look like giant dragon perches?
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, because I actually was thinking it looks more like their wings. I thought it has kind of the profile of a flapping dragon.
Or it could be Batman.
Could be Batman.
That's where Bruce Wayne lives.
Where's the spotlight? I used to have a bit about that. It was about how, like, hey, how come criminals commit crimes in Gotham at night? If I was in Gotham, I'd do it during the day.
Well, then it'd be the Bat Blimp.
Bat Blimp. But the only way you can talk to Batman is on cloudy nights. Clear night, you can't even get in touch with the guy. His cell phone's a fucking spotlight. Get out of here.
There should be like a crime section of the paper and the weather. It's like, tonight's going to be high crime.
Yeah.
With a chance for...
Stay inside, boys. It's cloudy. Don't go commit any crimes because Batman's on the prowl. Yeah, no, but they probably have a phone. They do have a red phone, remember? That's the whole thing. All right, so there's the gang. Check it out. We love these folks. This is Tyrion, her new hand. That's Varys. That's the guy who wishes he was a better actor. No, I'm just... Melisandre. No, Missandei. Sorry,
Missandei, yes.
Yep, she's great.
And I am not one for fashion. I typically don't point out how people are dressed, but I'd have to say Daenerys looks pretty freaking awesome right now. I'm really digging what she's wearing. The big, powerful, like, 80s shoulder pads, the pauldrons or whatever.
That's right.
It's a new look for her, basically, and it's almost like a look at that exhibits power, to me at least.
Yeah. She's the Beyonce of this place. She is fierce and holding it all together. Without her glowing energy, none of us would be here. Yeah. There she goes, and boom, boats. And I like that they're rowing on just kind of a regular boat. That's their thing. So off they go. Oh yeah, this is a great moment. So the dragons are approaching. How did I miss them?
Yeah.
It's like, look at this boat.
Those are the seagulls.
Yeah. Well, does dragon poop? Is it really warm? I bet it's really warm.
It's gotta be like freaking lava.
I've been pooped on by a seagull once. It hit the back of my neck as reading a book, and it was a little bit warm. Yeah, but I bet dragon poop is worse. Yeah. So there it goes. Plus, it's got goat skulls and stuff.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine just like coming through your living room window?
Just
I mean your roof.
Just like
window.
A giant crash.
Coming at an angle.
Knocks your curtains in too. It's like bong, just big disgusting.
That's how Joffrey should have died.
Yeah. Big puddle of dragon poop lands on his head. That's their pigeon pie. So
that'd be the white wedding.
Yes.
Assuming they poop in the color similar to birds.
Yeah, the mottled green and white wedding. So, craw, craw. That's dragon sounds. So there they go. And I love this shot.
Yeah, this shot's amazing.
And it was so they're the real power here, and it was just so cool. They're returning their ancestral home. Oh, ancestral. That's the word I was looking for. Before.
Ancestral.
Well, incestuous. We have a whole theme going on.
I mean, if this were the Lannisters' home, I would go with the ancestral home. I think.
No, the Targaryens were even more incestuous. Yeah, that was their whole thing.
But Rhaegar went for a Stark.
I know, but for hundreds of years they were just banging cousins and brothers, and I don't know if moms.
I guess
and sons
that's how you come up with a Mad King.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Someone could correct me or fill us in on that. But
well, I mean, historically in our world, hierarchies and monarchies and all that kind of stuff, they were typically. Oh yeah. Incestuous.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Because who could possibly lay with a fucking commoner, a disgusting beet-eating peasant? No, you bang your cousin. Who knows all the tricks to dressing up and looking fancy at parties.
Yeah, just think about in a few generations how inbred these dragons are going to be.
True. They got to go head off and find some other dragons. We don't know if do they have sex? Do you think they just go like, birds aren't real big on having fun. I think they just go.
Well, I assume they do, considering dragon eggs is where they came from.
Right, but yeah. Wow, I can't believe everything has sex. Even trees have sex in a way. They have to
cross-pollination,
mix the DNA and stuff. All right, so it's a great shot, though. It's really cool. And she's finally seeing her homeland for the first time. It's looking good.
Well, not for the first time. I mean, she was born here, Daenerys Stormborn, but she hasn't been back here since her exile. Very early in her life.
Was she taken away?
I think it was quite early.
So yeah,
okay. Fair. But this is super
not literally the first time, but as with a working brain.
Yeah, since the very beginning of Game of Thrones, the television series, though. It's been her mission to travel across the Narrow Sea, to raise an army, to bring the Dothraki, to bring her Unsullied, to bring any army, any force back to Westeros to try and take back power in the name of the Targaryens.
Yeah.
And this is such a critical moment. This is her making landfall. Not only landfall back in Westeros, but landfall at her ancestral home.
Yeah, it's big deal.
Double powerful.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, in a negative light. Shame on the filmmakers for not including a moment where the Dothraki guys are all scared to get on the boats, or maybe like they're tasting the water and going, salty, we're gonna die, because you know that's the whole thing, is they couldn't handle salt water.
Yeah, there was a deleted scene though when she walks up to the front door and there's like 10 pounds of like uncollected mail that was there since she left.
A bunch of newspapers.
It took a long time to clean all that up.
Yeah, Nixon on the cover of the newspaper. All right, so I love this. Wherever the hell they went to film this, she comes up on the beach in the sand here. It looks really cool. I really want to visit this area.
I really hope you got a screenshot that I want to see that happens right around this point after, because she does something really important right here.
She walks up and they let her have her moment by herself, and she reaches down and touches the grass. The sand, I mean?
Yeah, this is basically touching the earth that she's been fighting to get to all this time. This is symbolic of her return. This is great.
Picks it up, feels it. She's off the boat too, which is nice. And looking at her thing, she's just getting started here, guys.
This is what I wanted to see.
Oh, okay.
This is I believe, based on the illustration in the book and the Citadel, and based on the look of the mountain itself, this to me looks to be Dragonstone mines, where all the dragon glass will be.
All right, yeah, well, it's definitely a hole. For sure.
Yeah, and they wouldn't show it for no reason. And if you look at it from like a long shot and you compare it to the drawing in the book and the Citadel, it looks identical.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it was okay. Good catch there. I like it. By the way, are heeled boots tough to walk around in sand on? I don't know. Maybe okay. All right. Anyway, she's going in there, and wow, look at the cool.
Yeah, that's the shot I was talking about right there.
There it is. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff. I love that this stuff is vertical. It was probably flat at some point. Geological forces, James. All right, so these are cool too. I love these dragons. I'm in a very loving mood, James. I meditated today. I'm feeling a little bit calm. They all walk up. Missandei and Grey Worm, they're dating, or I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe he thinks they are. Maybe she. I don't know. Maybe it's complicated. But these dragons look neat. I like that this one has a Cinnabon for an ear. Either that or just doing a Princess Leia impression.
It's just kind of bad that they were eating bubble gum.
Yeah, I was gonna say like their teeth are stuck like fruit by the foots. I bet little kids would crawl around in there when this place has children around.
I'd do it right now.
Great place to live, to raise children.
I'd crawl right into the eye socket.
Yeah, I'd have to call the police to get you out. Yeah, Tyrion. This whole thing is just kind of very symbolic. Everything, every step of the way is like she's climbing.
It's
she's
a huge moment.
Boom, the
doors
are open.
Not a lot of dialogue. In fact, no dialogue really.
Very little.
It's just reactions. It's just the emotional music swelling. It's the impact of finally seeing her coming home.
Yeah, with her squad behind her too. Tyrion is one of her trusted inner circle. I mean, she's very powerful with his knowledge, and Varys too. These two guys together, because she doesn't understand Westeros politics. They do. So they're going to be, she would be pretty stuck without them.
Yeah, and combined, they're pretty much the height of one man.
Yeah, what, her and him? Yeah, what if he jumped up on her shoulders and they put on a trench coat? Or he would be on the bottom. He looks like, I bet he's pretty heavy. Okay, keep going before I get myself in trouble. Dragons are looking cool. I love it.
I love this shot, too.
We saw this in the trailer, for the season.
Which kind of shows like what a strategically tactical location this is in, because this is this is the meeting of two mountains, of two peaks.
A bottleneck.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they first got to get through that gate. I mean, there's all sorts of places to defend.
Anyone landing trying to make that their beachhead for an invasion is going to have a hard time with that castle there.
Yeah, for sure, especially with dragons flying around. Even without. But okay, so they get inside and we got some cool shots. We're kind of moving around. The door's open. Oh, cool! Look at the handle. It's a dragon handle.
Yep.
I'm gonna get some of
their interior designer was on point.
Yeah, they were. Our interior designer just put some freaking regular circles. They suck because we're poor and we live in LA. Okay, so all right, another symbolic moment: the stag of Stannis. It's a flaming heart.
Yep.
With a stag on it, right? Is that a heart? That's a heart, I think.
It looks that. Yeah. So we know Stannis Baratheon made this his headquarters. He was. We often saw him with Melisandre. Talking at that big table, moving his little palm pieces around on the battle table.
Correct.
And so we know this is where Davos and Stannis were doing this stuff.
Yeah, this is where it's his base of operations. But she, of course, comes right up, takes a little look at it without any hesitation, and then grabs it, yanks it down. And first I would fire the person who hung that, because she pulled on that. She gave it very little force and it just came falling down.
That's true.
But there it collapses in a heap on the rubble, and that is symbolic of the Baratheon boys. Yeah. They're all dead. Yeah. They're all gone. The Baratheons
they're not all dead.
Kaput. Yeah, they are. The brothers are dead. Yeah. Stannis, Robert, and Renly. All smoke.
Are you really forgetting about our rowing friend Gendry?
Oh yeah. Oh god damn it. Where is Gendry?
Exactly. I was waiting for him to come back.
Yeah, that's been a running joke. I totally forgot about Gendry. He's still out there rowing.
He's rowing. I'm figuring that he'll make landfall at Dragonstone at some point.
He's befriended a whale and a volleyball. You know, he's having a good time. But maybe a turtle comes by and sings to him and shit.
Yeah, but I was about to say, this is the second most meaningful pulling down of a tapestry. Nothing can really compare to seeing the flayed man banners falling off of Winterfell. That was hugely emotionally powerful.
The wolf being returned.
Yeah, the Stark sigil returning to the walls. That was one of the best moments last season.
I agree. It was very satisfying. So, okay, then they go, another door opens. Now we see the throne room. Look how tall it goes up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The, I thought I noticed the continuity. No, but I think that's different. Because one of these is knocked over, but that one I think is just higher up on the steps. But the throne is really cool. Oh yeah, there's the knocked over one. Okay, see.
Way cooler than the Iron Throne as far as I'm concerned.
Really? Which, you think so?
The Iron Throne is symbolic of conquering for power.
Okay,
this one isn't.
Let's talk about that, and it's just but this quick moment where Grey Worm kind of kept going, but Missandei stopped him. She's like, no, he needs this moment.
Let her have the moment.
Let her go up there. Okay, Grey Worm fella, you're keeping always trying to get up there and get your business. I think he's being a security guy is what he's doing. But yeah, so there's the throne. Cooler, huh? I mean, it's certain. I think they're both really, really cool.
You remember
I don't know. I don't think you need to have a winner with this.
Remember a long, long time ago, she had like a fever dream or a vision of the future where winter had come and she was in the throne room with the Iron Throne and there was snow everywhere and it was all destitute and desolate and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if at that time they hadn't yet planned to have her come back here, because I think it would have been a really nice foreshadowing event to have like a brief flash of her seeing this.
She had that in the House of the Undying.
She did? Of this throne in this room?
I believe. I don't know. I don't recall seeing this throne, but she did have this vision of being, I think it was in the Red Keep, to be honest.
Okay.
And the throne at there where Cersei hangs.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I remember, it being in the Iron Throne room. Not this room.
Not this one.
But it would have been nice for me to have seen that, but maybe they did show up, maybe I don't remember it, but, you know.
Right, and it was snowing inside.
And
things were, because winter had come all the way south.
But now winter has come, but she's in a different throne room.
Not to mention she's got white hair. Winter, White Walker, white hair, white girl,
and she's
brown
walking.
eyebrows, and she's walking. This detail is really cool, like you said before. Scales and stuff.
Yeah, she really needs to get some hair dye for her eyebrows.
It
has been bugging me since season 1.
Well, she would look really weird with her eyebrows the same color as her hair.
But I just think it looks jarring without it.
She'd look like a Halloween costume, as if she doesn't already a little bit. But they all do. I mean, that's my point. Okay, so boats and stuff. These are Stannis' toys. This
is how he planned. He probably used that exact boat for for planning the Battle of Blackwater Bay.
Probably. Yep. Not pictured are his fidget spinners. He's got he's got those in a box off to the side.
No, they're not there. He takes those to battle with him.
It calms me down. I need to spin it on my finger. So they go into the room, and it's obviously a very familiar place to us. We've seen this is what James was talking about, but the Red Lady and Stannis did a lot of plotting here. He banged her on his table once, which I've never banged a woman on a bunch of toys, but if I did, I would move the toys. I'd be like, don't want to put your butt on a sharp Lego or something that would hurt.
Yeah, I banged my knee on tables plenty of times.
You banged your knee.
Yeah.
Wow, wait, quit bragging there, James. Wink. I don't know what that means. Maybe.
So you know what she's thinking right now.
She's thinking, how come I have a tiny ski jumper coming out of my hair?
She's thinking, what a fantastic Dungeons and Dragons table that's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, the boys at the D&D shop are going to love this one. The tabletop board gaming guys. But yeah, she kind of puts her hands on it. It's also symbolic. She's getting a feel. It's very tactile.
Again, no dialogue up to this point.
Nope. Not
just pure music.
Tyrion,
taking in the moment.
Tyrion looking around. I want to back up just a little bit. I just want to show the dragon on the wall. That I thought, oh, that's not it. That's not it. Ah, jeez, this is already a mistake. What did I do? It's in this room. What the? Sorry. That's the one. Look at that. Cool, huh? All right, that's all I want.
Realistically, though, do you think that when Stannis abdicated this castle, when his army was gone, when his Baratheon, group was gone, would someone else have moved in, or was it such a remote place that people wouldn't have come in and scavenged and plundered and pillaged?
I mean, I would assume you'd have some sort of caretaker crew, right? I mean, these big... Maybe not, though. Maybe they never did, just because they never... Because, like, I was saying that, and forgive me if I already said this in this recording, because I said this to James yesterday, but don't these castles usually have, like, a farm agrarian economy that's kind of linked into the resources that surround it? That's the whole point. I know there's strategic, there's like, military installation castles, and there's also sort of, like, governing operating castles. I guess this is more the military type of thing.
Yeah, I would think so.
But I understand there's a different.
We haven't seen the other side of the castle
but
yet.
they're resource. They consume resources, and you have to still bring in food. Well, you have to feed out the soldiers.
We're only seeing the port side of it right now. Correct. Who knows what the other side connects to?
Yeah, maybe there's a whole bunch of other stuff. All right, so we'll keep
Probably
pushing.
a theme park and stuff out there.
Yeah,
Best Western.
There's a
Best
Buy.
Westeros.
Yeah, Best Westeros. There's a Besteros. There's a Cinnabon. I could go for a Cinnabon. So she goes straight to the head of the table where she belongs.
And she's got the IKEA Flark lamp back there.
I was just going to say something about that, the halogen lamp. If there were curtains, the curtains would get up there and catch on fire. What a weird way to die. So, yeah, man, this is pretty cool. And she says, shall we begin?
And, of course, she's referencing Dungeons & Dragons.
Mm-hmm. Is that a Dungeons & Dragons line?
No, I've never actually played that.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
I'm a huge nerd, but I've never done that.
Yeah, well, you can only be a nerd about so much stuff. Yeah. I mean, come on, we can't all do everything. So there it goes. Black screen and done. That's the end of the episode. So, well done, Daenerys. Look what she's done, man. She was at their lowest of lows with her husband dead, and she a stranger in a strange land, and had no call. Remember that one scene where they're all she got about 10 dudes sitting around going, bleh, you know? That's all she had, and she's built this all back up. She's survived incredible challenges. She's dodged suitors and supplicants, and she's had some bad moments. She had a boyfriend for a while, Dario Naharis, who she had to let go because he just was you know, and then. Now she is at home, ready to go fuck some people up. It's gonna be great. It's gonna turn everybody into barbecue.
I mean, you could have been her boyfriend.
I could have been her boyfriend.
Be Hank No Harris.
Hank No Harris.
I'm sorry, that was mean.
No, I like it. Hario No Harris.
But
and I would take her hair and put it on my head and be like, nah.
Yeah, she's got kind of a cheap gimmick though. Whenever she gets into a time of trial and tribulation, she's like, oh, how am I gonna get out of this? Oh, that's right, burn myself nude.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think we're going to see another nude burning to prove her point?
Yeah, of course. I mean, some guy's going to deliver a pizza. She won't have money for it. She's like, I'll be right back. And she just emerges out of flames naked.
Yeah. And the guy just gets down and starts bowing.
Yeah, the music swells.
Gives her money. Here's $4. So this is the kickoff, though. So, all right, here at the end.
Not a huge action-packed episode aside from seeing the phrase get what was coming to him at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Which, for me, that beginning scene should have been so incredibly cool and impactful, but for me it fell flat. And it fell flat because I knew exactly what was going to happen. Because we were betrayed of the shock and surprise by seeing Arya do what she did in the prior episode. Now, if they had cut that out and they had shown this happen first and then flashed back to her killing him to show us how she got to get his face, I think that would have been so much more powerful. I feel like they jumped the gun too early on that one, though, and it tarnished the opening of the season. All
right, I hear you. So tarnished, or maybe just could have been more impactful. Is that?
Well, I think that means kind of the same thing. It diminished it. I'll use the word diminished.
All right. Yeah, I like to use words like less optimal.
Yes.
Which is different than diminished, but similar in a way, I guess. But, okay, I get you. I still found the beginning very satisfying.
It was satisfying, but it didn't have that oomph that it would have had I not known from the very moment I saw him that was Arya in disguise.
Yeah, I agreed to that. But it's knowing it's Arya, though, you're like, oh, shit, she's a powerful murderess now. She's good. Nobody's going to get in her way. So it's like...
I don't think they were trying to fool us with that. I think they knew everyone knew what was coming.
Yeah.
But I would have just liked to have had, just to have had that moment of not knowing, and then to have the flashback come. Because once the flashback would come, and by flashback I mean her killing Walter Frey in my alternate version of my head, where that happens after the events of the poisoning.
Yeah, right.
But since we already knew that would have happened, to be like an afterthought, like, oh, how does she come to, to kill all the Freys?
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
But, it's obviously not the director of Game of Thrones, so...
No, clearly not.
Sadly.
I wish you were, because that would be your PA. I'd go get you donuts and double Dungeons and Dragons. I almost said Double Dragon.
I do love Double Dragon.
I used to play that game all the time. Yeah, a little on that, though. Not to... Sort of a separate angle from what you're talking about, but one of the things that's so nice about Arya killing all the Freys, assuming there's plenty of Freys left, they're probably still going to run that town or something, but she severely hurt that family. They're big time.
Yes, and not only hurt the Freys in doing that, hurt the Lannisters, because that was one of their closer allies.
Yeah. So Arya on her own is changing the politics of the whole town.
And sends a big message, too. It's like, if the Lannisters can't even protect their allies.
But would you say that the Red Wedding was the most shocking scene in the entire show so far? I know it's a lot to pin on, or it's a lot to throw at you all at once on surprise. So there might be other scenes we're not thinking of.
I think for me it was because I did not see that coming.
The stabbing a pregnant woman in the belly like that, and then murdering Robb, and then murdering Catelyn.
There were all these montages leading up to that moment of Robb Stark going into battle, and all these quick shots of him charging across the battlefield, and this wolf charging and diving in front of the camera. And time lapse of them winning battle after battle, charging in, King of the North, and making progress against this enemy that we all revile and hate.
Yeah.
And then to have it all end so abruptly and so suddenly and so unexpectedly. And not just Robb, but also his mother, Catelyn Stark, and his wife, and
yeah,
it was a tough pill to swallow.
Right, bad. You know what? When I was saying earlier about the dog getting killed and at Cat Crasher's Keep, we recorded that, right?
No, that was before that.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah, because we were watching it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, Ghost is dead," and I was like, "No, Ghost is not dead."
I remember a bunch of bad guys going up to a cage and stabbing a dog, and I just remember I thought that was Crash, but turns out that was actually
that was when we were getting our orange chicken down the street.
Yeah, that's right.
And we walked by a pet store and we saw some hoodlums.
Okay. No. But what I was picturing in my mind was actually the Red Wedding when they kill us. What's Robb's dog's name now? Damn it. Headless dog. But they because they had the dog captured. But
yeah, and they sewed the direwolf's head onto Robb's decapitated body and paraded him around.
And Arya was there. She saw all that.
Yeah, she did.
She was there with the Hound, and because the Hound had just arrived.
Yeah, which is why there's always these. I said earlier in this episode that there's always these missed connections, these missed opportunities for reunions.
Right.
And that was one of the most memorable ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, the second time it happens to Arya, the Hound takes her to the Vale, and she's like, "Oh, I'm here to see my aunt."
Yep.
And then he's like, "Oh, well, she's dead because Littlefinger had just killed her."
Yeah.
And Arya just breaks.
Yeah,
I love that scene.
Yeah, she just cracks up. That's
because it keeps happening.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. But what I was saying though is that the Red Wedding was such a shock. It was so impactful but there was no justice to that. And so partly why they started the season in that way, I think, is they finally showed justice for that crime.
Yeah.
And Arya, and not only justice, it's not like justice would have been if the Freys had burned themselves down without anybody's help, but the true justice was that a Stark got to deliver the punishment, and the fact that it was Arya is pretty great. Of course, the poor girl's going to need a lot of therapy when she gets into her 30s, and starts, because I mean, look, children are not supposed to be murdering. You're supposed to only murder like 2 or 3 people when you're a kid. She's murdered hundreds already.
She can give herself therapy,
or dozens.
Just take her psychiatrist's face.
Yeah, and do Smeagol.
Yeah, just keep
staring
on and off, on and off.
So, but overall, though, I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, I don't think they've.
It was mostly the kind of episode that you would expect at the beginning of a season. It's an establishment episode. It's not something where great moments of action and great change happen. Aside from, well, I mean, I guess Daenerys arriving, making landfall, that's a great change, but it's more of a preface to something much larger.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now it's going to get intense. Any predictions for what's going to happen?
I really think that, and I don't want to see it, but I know it's going to happen based on what was told by the Hound looking into the flames with Sir Bernice Barrack about the East Watch by the sea, or East Watch by the ocean, or whatever it was.
The bay or the sea. I think it's the sea. I'm pretty sure it's the sea.
Yeah, it would make more sense for it to be the sea, because that's, but the fact that he foresaw the dead pouring through that castle, and we know Tormund is going to hold that castle and be effectively the Night Watch. Right. I don't want to see him go, but I know he is. I know he's probably going to. Yeah. And it makes me wonder, is Brienne going to go up there with him? Are we going to lose Brienne? I don't think so, because I don't think Brienne is going to leave Sansa's side, because she's sworn to protect Sansa. Right.
Yeah, I agree. That's going to get intense. I mean, the White Walkers are going... See, the thing with the whole Dany fighting with... or Cersei fighting with everybody south of her, east of her, north of her, and then Daenerys' presence is going to shake all that up. But the White Walkers are going to come, and they're going to have... That's obviously going to force everybody who's south, because nobody believes them, as they established with Sam. No one thinks that that's really a threat. They've not been able to effectively communicate the danger that they're all facing. They have a vague sense that the winter is about to get worse, or maybe they're entering a cold period. And the further south you are, the safer you are from winter. Which is... But when the White Walkers get below the wall, then it's like all bets are off, and now everybody's going to have to... I don't know if they're all going to unite into a united front. Like if Earth was attacked by aliens, we'd put aside our stupid differences and start fighting the aliens. We'd probably make deals with the aliens. We'd be like, all right, we'll sell out this fucking guy, and you can have my farm.
The whole reason this all went down is because I think the Mad King was the one who pulled out of the Winterfell Accord, and the carbon emissions just went crazy. So the winter has hit very hard.
Right, yeah. They are not going to reach their carbon emission goals.
No.
The temperatures are about to rise or lower. They're lower. I don't know. I'm sure there's so much on the internet about this show, but has there ever been like a scientifically plausible explanation for shifting winter seasons? Is it like something with like a binary sun system?
I think there is.
Or is there multiple planets that create different
I'm sure a much smarter person from a scientific, geological, astronomical standpoint could tell us exactly what kind of a rotational pattern around a celestial body of a sun or whatnot could create seasons like that.
Seasons that shift and take time to shift, but they still do change in a noticeable way. I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, anyone in Canada could tell us.
Sure, yeah. So anybody from Canada, tell us about what's going on there. What's it like having Whitewalkers?
Yeah.
There, do you think people in Canada have like bear traps? They have like Whitewaker traps and stuff, and they try to like get rid of them. They have Whitewaker spray.
Yes.
All the kids go to school with little sprays.
Whitewaker whistles.
Yeah.
If you see one blow.
Tiny pieces of dragon glass are in the spray. Get out of here. Actually, a powdered dragon glass, like when a wrestler throws like powder into his opponent's face,
or pocket sand.
Yes, pocket sand, exactly.
Isn't that a King of the Hill thing?
I don't know. I never.
Gribble.
Maybe, probably.
Yep. But anyway, remember that book that Sam was looking at in the Citadel, where it showed like an illustration of a dragon glass dagger?
I do.
I think that I saw someone say somewhere that in the trailer.
Is that the shot?
Not that one. Not that one.
There's a thing.
Not that one.
Okay, keep going.
Keep going. Keep flipping, Arya.
I don't think.
Sam.
You called me Arya?
Yeah, keep flipping. Yes, I called you Arya.
I'm flattered.
The reason I said Arya is because what I was trying to get to my head is that someone on Reddit that I looked at about 10 minutes ago said that they saw in the trailer another shot where it looked like Arya was carrying the dagger that was drawn in that book.
Oh, okay.
And they're also saying that they think that it might have been a dagger that was used to try and assassinate Bran in Season 1. But if I recall correctly, the dagger that was used in Season 1 by the assassin was not a dragon glass dagger, but it was a Valyrian steel dagger that I believe Tyrion had won off of Littlefinger in a bet.
I think so.
In a gambling situation.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it did have dragon glass on it, though, because we know that the Valyrian weapons and things were ordained, or the Targaryens decorated their weapons with dragon glass.
Okay.
Oh, it even says so right there.
Oh, does it really? Oh, all right. Yeah, more damning for the children, though. I'm sure people have already read all that shit.
But we don't have a screenshot of it, but that's something that I saw that I missed when I watched it, and I thought it was kind of interesting.
I think it must
I think that actually is it right there.
It's just that turning the page. So, all right, cool. Well, there you go, everybody.
And again, right there, obviously it looks just like it does in When Daenerys lands.
It looks like a spitting image.
Exactly. Photorealistic comparison.
It's incredible. So yeah, man, this is I don't know. For me, watching this episode felt like seeing a friend I've missed. It was like an old friend is back. I'm looking forward to the next week, and I'm just really excited to be watching the show. This is my kind of show.
For me, it's sort of like you started playing a game with someone for a long time, then they had to go away on vacation for a while, they come back, you bring the board back out, blow the dust on it, start setting up the pieces again, start remembering where you left off, where you were. It's like coming home again. It's, you know, I feel like the cobwebs are pretty much gone now. I pretty much know where I am, what's going on, and I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Hell yeah. Obviously. Absolutely. So am I. This is going to be fun. So, all right, guys, everybody. All right, everybody. Like and subscribe. I'm working on the Patreon video. This is a running joke now. I put the graphic in the export, but because I'm going to add the link later. But of course, we're possibly missing out on a lot. But this stuff does take a lot of work. These uploads take about 5-6 hours, even after editing, or after we talk. We have to edit, export, upload everything because they're like over an hour. Big files take longer to do and whatever. So. And there are and so then when you hit a snag with that too, it sets you back even more because it's not just a 5-minute video. Blah blah blah. I'm rambling. So all right. Well, James, you've been wonderful.
Yep. And it is hotter than a dragon's butthole right now, so we need to get out of here.
Yes, we do. We're starting to sweat. We don't want that to happen. It could be dangerous. Good night. Goodbye, everybody. And I'll see you later, James. I want to say I love you in dragon speech.
By crows, you mean, what did you call them before? The black guys?
The black guys. Yeah. What are they called? The crows. The crows.
The Night's Watchmen.
Castle Black.
Yeah.
But the men in black.
The men in black, yes. Exactly.
Did they call them that?
No.
Oh. That's Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I could go for one of those things that makes you forget. I've had a bad day.
I feel like I have one hit me every day.
I know. I could go for one of those. I would order that as a service. All right, guys. Bye. See ya.